Yeah. Oh boy. And the shenanigans have already begun. It is a something another.
That's
Maybe.
right.
Well, anyway, whatever it is, it's so refreshing.
Math.
It's a brand new day.
Yay.
I've enjoyed early mornings since forever. Getting up early before most folks have wrapped up their beauty rest. Either they really needed it more than I do, or more realistically, no additional amount of sleep can help me. I'm a case, or perhaps I should be a project. I was watching a comedian yesterday. I love those guys. Jeff Allen is this guy's name, and not the one that we know here. He said he was nothing but one of his wife's projects from the day they got married, and it apparently hasn't helped him because he's been going on for years and years and years, still making fun of her, as all so many comedians do that, male and female. In a couple of weeks, my wife, Robbie, will have worked with her project for almost 19 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to make a comment.
Yeah, I figured you were. Great years for me, and I'm a better person for it. I trust your days are starting well. If so, don't get used to it. I remain your deplorable, mean, obstinate man, a.k.a. Rayford Brown, and y'all are who?
I'm well rested, Chris Marks.
I am. I feel so much better today, Lee Barrows.
So much better than what?
Yesterday, I was in terrible pain, but
Yep, you were.
I bit through it,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel so much better today.
Look at the finger. Don't move your head.
No, I'm not doing that. There was no alcohol involved in getting better.
Well, there can be other stuff involved.
Just a lot of medication, not
Over the
not
counter.
yes,
Over the counter stuff.
So I think I'm
Depends
well on the way now.
And
upon whose counter you go to. But,
Yeah, I'm good.
some
And I hope-
WWE Roman Reigns last night, probably.
That's all I had to have 5 minutes of that. And I do hope that everyone else listening this morning feels great.
You had what?
5 minutes. He wasn't on last
I
night.
know.
They just had a new baby, so they wrote him off for a while with an injury, which we know that did.
Just had a new baby.
His wife did, yes.
Why are you trying to interfere with that marriage?
I'm not trying to interfere. There's nothing wrong with looking and gawking.
You know, like she
Yeah,
did
but
a
you're
big-
using Braille.
Don't you do that when you're out somewhere and you see a beautiful woman walk by? Don't you look? Yes, you do.
No, not
There's
really.
nothing wrong with looking
But
and
if-
appreciating someone who is beautiful.
Oh, I agree with that.
it's
Yeah,
called
there you
window
go.
shopping.
Is that what it is?
No, there's a difference between
Oh.
looking and window shopping, Chris.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
taking it too far.
Okay, sorry.
I guess there are stages to this, right?
There's stages to this.
You can think
I,
and not look, or you can think and look, but only with your eyes looking left and right. Don't turn your head. Turning your head is another stage, right? That's another level.
Yes.
That's like stage 3 or something.
Well,
Stage
yeah.
4 is gawking. Stage 5 is stalking. What else is after that?
Yeah, now stalking is not good. Stalking can lead to a lot of issues.
Did you have some trouble with that?
Maybe in the past, nothing that I couldn't handle.
No. I
caught what you were saying.
She was a stalker.
No,
not
I
a
have
stalker.
never. I have never stalked anyone. It's just like when you said that you've been a project for Robbie for 19 years.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that's one of the reasons why I don't look to get married again. I don't need a new project. No. Mm-mm.
Well, look at it this way. Maybe you could become the project.
That would be nice for a change.
There you go. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Well, I'm sure there's a whole lot more news out there to talk about than the tragic, uncalled for murder of Charlie Kirk, but with every media outlet, from the networks to local TV stations, from the keyboard guys who actually, I'm convinced these days, they actually believe they're real journalists,
Yeah.
to what's left of commentators who do have credentials, to journalists who can even spell. Yep, there are those who fact check the information that others provide them and almost never rely on something called unnamed sources close to the investigation or to the story. I hate that phrase. Somebody had brought me that one when I was the boss. That would have been,
Like, nope.
go back,
Phew.
go away. The old school media that the old school people like me really like because I grew up getting ink all over my hands after reading the morning paper every day. But apparently, other than obituaries, there's not a lot of anything else going on that floats our boats these days, other than the Charlie King tragedy. And it was a national tragedy, but it's still a tragedy. There's politics, of course. On the national level, everything that's coming from the world of national politics is barely worth one column that's 1 inch long these days. Not much really happening other than a lot of the Bravo Sierra. Then we have local politics. Honestly, these days it takes a lot of 3-day-old fish on the back porch in July to even make news with politics. For the 87th time this morning, I've been counting them since y'all haven't. I check it off every time I do. Live and local real talk is not a source for news. Okay? We are not journalists. I spent a long time in television news as a freelance reporter, as a staff reporter, as a combination reporter, photographer. That's what we commonly referred to in those days as a one-man band. We did it all. That's sort of the standard operating procedure today in most local stations. As an assignment manager, and then as the main guy in charge, the dreaded news director. Therefore, I think my background allows me to justifiably label Live and Local Real Talk as a non-news program. Now you know what we're not. What we are is an opinion-based show. I want y'all to understand that. We have our opinions, and we want to have calls from you to listen to your opinions. From normal folks. Folks that the media will label newsmakers are welcome as well. We get politicians, we get government people. That's pretty broad, though, if you think about it. And most anyone in any organization that spends tax dollars. And then we have the other folks out there. We have the folks who are actually doing really great things.
Yes, we do.
Race Across America.
That's right.
That's one of those. Crime Stoppers, another one.
That's right.
A lot of sports projects out there, and some of them are organized or involving folks who are on the tax dollars, the payroll from the taxpayers. Okay, it's okay. They're government, our local government has to be well rounded. It has to provide for people.
Dancing with the Stars too.
Dancing with the
Big, very
Stars.
big.
Yep, Dancing Stars of Onslow County.
Mm-hmm.
A major deal. A major deal. So we spend a lot of time, a lot of effort talking with those folks. That you don't see that on regular news. So therefore, again, it just verifies what I'm saying. We are not primarily a news station. Interesting enough, we aren't required by the Federal Communications Commission nor restricted by the aforementioned Federal Communications Commission because we're not on broadcast to do a lot of the stuff or not do a lot of the stuff that can or cannot be done by broadcasters. We still maintain our integrity, and we're not going to stoop to the level of some of the non-broadcast tape of podcasters. That's not what we do. We'd rather talk about things than to come out and blast anybody and everybody. However, there are going to be occasions when things happen and people they open themselves up to be a target. And sometimes when the mainstream media, the so-called mainstream media, they're too busy doing other things. And then it falls upon us when we're told about it and we take a look-see at it and at some things, and you just never know. We deal a lot with political stuff. We have those who are running for office, those who are in office, those who would like to be in office. We have those folks coming on the show regularly. They generate a lot of sometimes negativity, not that often. We haven't had any negative
Not since the 20
funny-haired guy.
Was it 2020 election where it got
I don't know.
2022?
We have them.
Those error.
It got a little.
We
feisty.
prefer, as a non-news entity, we prefer to react to news stories that are already out there that other people cover. You know,
Yes.
we see it just like y'all see it. We see it
Yes.
online. We see it on the TV set. We read it in the newspapers. I don't get my news from social media. Okay. I really, that's your opinions. You can say what you want to say. That is not news, nor do I trust it as news. And when I find Facebook postings with people whose names I cannot even find anywhere.
You mean fake profiles?
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Anonymous
They're
postings?
APs.
Yes.
Artificial profiles. I guess you can't.
Good one.
Hard to
Fake
call them
profiles.
fake. That's too demeaning to them, I guess. Yeah, you're all a bunch of first of all, you're witless, you're clueless, and you're gutless.
Keyboard warrior. That's what we call them.
Witless, clueless, and gutless. My new definition.
That's a good one. Pretty accurate.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, whatever's happening out there. Now, we get calls from people who will say, oh, I heard. Oh, well, right up front. That word, I heard it through the grapevine. That was a great song, but it sucks as being a source for information. Go ahead. Get it. Come on, get down with it. Get on. Do your bad stuff there.
He's a bad influence on me.
I think that's a mutual admiration society you got going.
Oh gosh.
We do have folks who come in, and when an elected official comes in, we have the regular county commissioners. We have our North Carolina senator. We talk with our congressman every month. We have a schedule for him, and we've talked. Oh my God, for years and years and years with Senator Tillis. I'm going to miss that opportunity. Except that
I agree.
he may be unchained after he's off and gone as a senator. That would be fun.
I welcome that. I want to hear it.
So do I. And we'll see what the real story is in the background. Meanwhile, and Lee just says, "Oh Lord," every time I tell her something funny. Kelly said, "Oh God." Chris has been nice to me, much nicer than the ladies.
He'll say,
"But
oh, that is funny."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah. No, you don't say, "Oh Lord." You say, "Oh Lord."
Oh,
L-A-W-D. Lord.
I try not to use the Lord's name for anything other than what it was intended for. So that's why I spell it differently. I do this. That's right. Someday they'll let me back in church.
I will tell you, you folks.
You're welcome in.
No.
Oh gosh.
Some days our opinions, which are ours,
Rightful of you.
Yeah, and we don't agree among ourselves. Sometimes, not that often, actually. But we may have differing opinions, differing viewpoints. We don't get up and scream and holler, and I don't call them the nasty names that they are, and they don't do the same thing for me.
Kelly and I learned way back.
There's a reason for that. No a way I can control that. You know how that is?
Yeah, you.
He who controls the mic controls the world. So
someday I'm going to put a diverter on that keyboard and have it like over here.
You would mess it up.
I'm going to put a 256 on it.
So anyway, it's a lot of fun doing this kind of show, and we have an opinion. We're different.
Right.
We've got our friend Charlie out there on the left leaning coast. He calls in, says he listens to a lot of talk radio, and we're weird, but he likes us. He didn't say we're weird. He just says he likes us.
He said he loved us.
And we have others. We have Timmy, who's like us, not quite right.
Don't kill me.
We have Theo, which is he serves a purpose. And Steve, of course, the regular callers.
Yes.
We have any number of them. We got.
Let's get Joy and Jennifer.
I was getting ready to hit Jennifer. We've got Joy, Jennifer, and occasionally when they let their men get on the air, they will let Terry and Jennifer's case, and
it's a project
Donald
they're
and
working
Joy's case, and
Let us,
they are the project men
Yes.
out there.
let us not forget award winning.
Speaking
Yes,
of award
it
winning,
is. The segue we go to is
yes, the Daily News was recognized among its peers with a first place award during the 152nd annual North Carolina Press Association convention in Cary
That's
Thursday
a
evening.
lot of words to
And
say.
he's
He
ours.
belongs to us.
Sports editor Chris Miller
We lay
received.
claim to him
That's right.
and all of his awards.
He received a first place sports feature writing award for the story, I Am Really Just Playing Soccer. And we try to share a lot of his stuff
Yeah, we do.
on our
Yes,
page.
which is good.
Some of the stories that he has written are so heartfelt.
They're human
And,
stories.
yeah,
they're not just
human
about.
stories. So congratulations, Chris.
And I'll tell you, folks, if you want to, if you're a sports addict and you're keeping score,
Mhm.
pardon the pun, but that's exactly what they're doing. They know what teams in the lead here and about what the percentage is and
Right.
how many games they're down in this, and they know the stats of every baseball pitcher out there in the major leagues. They know how many times that they've struck out in their lives. They know when they pick their toes.
Well, no matter what, when he calls in on his regularly scheduled Thursday morning, hint, listen, people, listen up for Chris,
Yeah.
is what I meant.
But
We can throw a question at him and he's got the
He's
answer.
got the information. But when Chris, he's our resident expert. But when Chris writes, when local sports guys, they are the local connection with the community.
That's right.
Yeah.
The guys, gals, men and women out there who play local sports. How many men are on at any given time the field for Jacksonville High Cardinals? How many men are on the field, players?
Let's see. There's
That would be 11.
That would be his.
22. You got the
Oh,
8 defense offense.
Of the Cardinals. For the
Oh,
Cardinals.
the Cardinals.
The Cardinals have
11.
22. Yeah, have a total of 11 on the field. They have a whole bunch there on the bench.
Oh, yeah.
They have people. They have an offensive team and a defensive team. They have backup quarterbacks. They got second strings. They got this. They got people that they put in there because those players after 45 minutes of play can get to be a little tired. 48 minutes of play?
48.
48 minutes of play. 12 minutes per quarter. They get tired, especially if they running back. They have to run.
Right.
And sometimes they're running and they know their ball's not coming to them, but they have to run like it is.
Yep.
They get tired, so other people go in to provide a little relief, if nothing else. Chris does stories more about them personally quite often. He'll find something to make a story out of, and the story is there. It's like I used to tell people, the story is there. It's whether you can uncover it or not that determines whether you are a reporter or not. God, I've had that conversation so many times.
Chris is a reporter. Chris is very good at his trade. I actually talked to him one day. I said, and I gave him who I thought he should go to go on television.
And reporters love tips, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And he doesn't want this to be known, but he finished third in the dress category, dressing appearance, with his new style pants that he was wearing the other
Would
night.
you stop?
It's,
Leave his pants alone.
he said it's
What
a new
was it?
style.
What was it he said yesterday?
It was, I don't know, something. It's the new style. Is what he told.
Look at our Facebook page on Sunday, or whenever look at the ball game coverage. His picture is in there for you folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said to tell you that was the style.
That's the style.
That's what it was.
The style.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's good.
I remember the style of a news photographer from a TV show one time. They called him Animal for good cause.
Well, it won't be long and Chris be getting out those long pants. So
Oh, yeah.
won't be long and we'll be taking our heated chairs and
We take them now. We just don't plug the batteries in.
I haven't gotten mine out yet. I've been carrying my little one.
Well, I like ours.
Yeah.
They're comfortable. They get
Yeah, they
armrests
are.
and stuff
They-
like that. They got pockets in case I want to
Yeah.
sneak some stuff in that they don't
Like
catch.
popcorn.
No
Yeah.
popcorn. It's not enough room in the pockets for the popcorn.
I'm gonna tell you, they're nice chairs. I just haven't broke mine out yet. I just carry the little one.
Anyway, coming up this morning, we do have a special guest coming in here,
don't we? Yes, we do.
The mayor of Holly Ridge. He's held 2 elected positions at Holly Ridge. The second one is the current one, that's mayor. The first one, he was a councilman. And the interesting thing about this is, and I find it just funny, ironic, cute, whatever, this could make headlines, and not a lot of people seem to be doing that. He has not been elected by one person to serve the citizens of Holly Ridge. He has not been elected. He was not elected as a councilman. He stormed his way through the door with, guns ablaze. I'm kidding.
No,
Mayor,
he was
if you're
appointed,
listening.
right?
He was appointed, and then to fill a vacancy that came up on the board. Okay, that's cool. And then along comes the mayor leaves.
Yeah, Jeff,
Yep.
the mayor, Jeff.
We
he left.
know him as Jeff. It's
Yes,
small
because
town,
he's
we go
been in
with.
here several
Yeah.
times.
And he's a photographer too.
Yes.
And I think he moved out of the town limits or something. but
He does
whatever it
beautiful
was.
work, yes.
And so anyway, Mayor Jeff left, and then here it comes.
Yeah, the board appointed
The
him.
board then said, "Well, we need a mayor."
Right.
So they selected from one of their own.
Right.
I'm not sure. I should say that for him, Mayor, Mr. Mayor. Were they trying to get rid of you on the council and just to put you up there in the mayor slot? I'm kidding. Come on, give me a break. You know better.
Right.
But anyway, we have a good time with the folks who come in with us, and sometimes they get serious, and sometimes it's not quite so serious.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen, so why should you?
Well, someday I'll be able to find somebody from Richlands that would like to come in, because I think that's the only municipality that we have that we've never been able to get anybody to come in.
Okay, I will be going to the clerk of court's office today.
Really?
To get some papers filled out.
For?
Failure to appear.
I've called down there before and asked to speak to the mayor, and we'll take a message, and that's all I've gotten.
The FTA would be fun. Maybe I could get a mock one like I used to do with
get a
tickets.
car and just drive down there. Wait, I don't have a car.
You say give people fake tickets?
What?
Huh?
FTA.
That's just failure to appear. That's not a. That's
Then
not
you
a
said you
criminal.
would get some tickets.
Well, occasionally, yeah.
There used to be a day where you could do that, but everything
You should
has
have seen
changed.
you should have seen the fake parking ticket that I conjured up.
That's just wrong. There's going to be somebody listening out there doing that now.
Hey, whatever. You should sit back and see when they come and look at their windshield and they pull that little thing off the windshield and they stick it there. And after a little, they get mad to begin with, and then they start laughing. It was all in fun. Looking towards the blue water, that's where the ocean begins to get deep, y'all. Out to 20 nautical miles today. Northeasterly winds 5 to 10 knots. Becoming easterly this afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet. They're 13 seconds apart. They're medium-sized waves, but they are 13 seconds apart. Gentle rollers. Nothing real steep. That's the other thing for you boaters, and especially the boaters and the fishermen out there. After a while, when you start looking at the forecast, look at how steep those waves are. If it's we'll call it really steep, that means it just drops off suddenly from 5 feet to nothing. Bam! That's when you see the boats out there having a problem. 2 to 3 footers near shore. Sounds and rivers of light chop diminishing to flat this afternoon.
Don't do it.
I didn't do it. I looked at your eyes. Westerly winds tomorrow about 5 knots, becoming southerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet, 12 seconds apart tomorrow. Sounds and rivers
With a light chop.
flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon. Thursday, southerly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 3. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Twiggy.
Today, this morning, we have some patchy fog.
Could you call her Twiggy? It'll burn off when the sun comes out.
So be cautious out there driving. A slight chance of showers and thunderstorms today. Mostly cloudy, becoming sunny with a high near 88. Calm wind becoming southeast around 5 miles per hour in the afternoon. Tonight, increasing clouds with a low of 66. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, then becoming sunny with a high near 89. which it'll be less, Chris. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high near
What
89.
will the heat index be?
Well, yesterday I said it would be a high of 88 today, and already they starting to drop that. So, that's why we only do a couple days at a time. It all could change. We could have a
It all will change.
snowstorm, Chris, Thursday. And then a hurricane
Okay, you say
Friday.
some patchy fog in the area. Now, if you folks are, some of you who like to have your head in the fog, there's a natural way to do it without having to spend a whole lot of money. Drive on over to Hubert. If there's ever a forecast for fog on 24, NC 24 in the Hubert area where there's some low-lying areas there, I mean, that means real close to the water. Down there at that creek area, guess what? If there's going to be fog, it's going to be right there. So if it's not there, it's nowhere in Onslow County.
Well, I have a message from the award-winning Chris Miller to Chris Marks. And he said, tell Mr. Marks that my wife finds my dress attire very, very attractive.
Okay, well, Chris, I sent you a message back. And hers is the only opinion that counts.
That's right.
So I do want to take a moment real fast to say thank you to Moore Buick GMC Trucks Incorporated, who yesterday we received a check from them for Race Across America for $250.
Nice.
Thank
Very
you so
nice.
much.
Thank
Very
you guys
nice.
at
Thank
Moore
you.
Buick. Thank you. We do
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Moore Buick and more. Is that what it is?
Moore Buick and Moore.
In 1977, October it was. October at that time used to be when the new model cars came out, the New Year's new cars.
Yeah.
In October, I drove on up here from Wilmington because I could get better deals in Onslow County than I could in Wilmington. I shopped around. I lived there, but forget about it. I drove up here and had made a deal. And the guy said, well, a truck's coming in this afternoon. I said, okay, I'll come up. So I got up here late afternoon. And my future car was being backed off of that big carrier at the time. It was a 1978 Trans Am. And they backed that thing down.
That's funny that you said
Then I had to
that.
wait for them to prep it.
Yeah.
I waited until late in the evening because they had to go through a bunch of stuff to make it ready for me to have. But we drove away in that car.
That's funny that you say that because that was about the same time my husband bought one from Moore Buick, a Trans Am.
I might have gotten the better one though.
I don't remember much about it. We had so many cars at the time. I don't know.
Not sure if you remember the Fiero.
Oh yeah.
Mike Shadid had the first one in Onslow County. I had the second one.
Oh, cool.
And I got it from Moore Buick.
I had a yellow Pinto. Pinto.
She got that from the classified ads.
That was my first car.
Oh, really?
Fiero.
Yes.
Pinto.
Pinto. I saw a picture of a Pinto the other day and I'm like, oh,
Y'all want to know about a mighty powerful hurricane
yes. Talk to us
Gabrielle.
about Gabrielle.
bouncing around the Atlantic with winds of about 140 miles
Shoo
per
doggy.
hour. See what we missed?
Oh, Lord.
Good. Sort of like a tree that falls in the middle of the forest, though, with neither man nor beast within miles. Does it make any noise?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in the way of land in Gabriel's path except Northern Ireland. And it's not going to make it that far. The ocean will be rough, and rip currents will likely impact Bermuda in the hurricane's rearview mirror, though. Approaching colder waters this week, Gabrielle will begin to weaken and will go from 140 mile per hour sustained winds to nuttin' honey within days. Further to the south, two systems bear watching. Disturbance 2 is closing in on the Leeward Islands. Those are the islands that include the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and nearby islands of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Forecasters say the storm system has mainly disorganized thunderstorms right now, but could bring heavy rains to the locations that it passes by. It's possible that it will become a tropical depression later in the week as it moves west-northwestward, possibly turning more towards the northwest, ding, 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 up the clock side. So it's going to be up. That's probably not the best thing for us. And then it goes somewhere in the second half of the week. It should be making that little bit of a turn. Conditions currently are not particularly conducive for much development. That's good, but that could change as it moves over the Bahamas into warmer waters. It will likely become a tropical depression. That means with sustained winds of less than, and no real circulation, but beginning stages of less than 37 miles per hour, 35 knots or something like that. Now, disturbance 1, more likely to develop sooner. It's about halfway between the Cape Verde Islands and the Leeward Islands and continues to meander northwestward. Forecasters say this system could become a tropical depression as early as tomorrow. When that happens, they'll have a better idea as to a likely course it will take. Right now, it's looking better for the United States, the coastal waters, than it is for tropical disturbance number 2. We are, of course, at the peak of the hurricane season. And a less than gentle reminder, the storm of last century, Hurricane Hazel, came ashore along the southern North Carolina coastline with a vengeance, it did, the second week in October 1954. So, in other words, we ain't out of the woods yet, y'all. It could happen. Okay. We did say identify the mayor coming in, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay. I remember talking about him, but
Just
I assumed everybody knew. Yes.
on this date, Hurricane Ian had hit Florida.
Yeah, that was a
bad one.
little bit of a
$112 billion worth of damage. Yeah. So,
this time of year is not real pretty.
Not at all.
Yeah.
But we don't have September, October,
November.
November.
Yeah.
We got all of October, November, and then but there have
Yes.
been some out of season hurricanes after November 30th. We were
Right.
not impacted by them.
Right.
When it gets later in the season, they change it from being called a hurricane to becoming nor'easters.
Yeah.
It's just a less organized system when they get to be like that. But they can be nasty. Winter nor'easters.
Ooh.
Oh, talk about along the beaches, erosion,
Yeah.
houses falling in, all sorts of stuff happen on those bad nor'easters.
910-333-0139, and I'm sure the mayor will take phone calls. But if you have something you'd like to talk about,
Yeah, or you
outside-
can leave a message in the comments.
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
it
It's
can
hard.
get to be busy when somebody's in the hot
Yes.
seat in here. We'll call it a hot seat, this slightly warm seat. But if you want us to ask him something, or if you want to make sure the questions that he should be addressing are asked of him, give us a call in advance or send us a message on that Facebook thing. that
Yeah,
Bob
or you could
Chris-
just on the page that we have open right now for the live, just leave a comment there if you want to, or on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
can I send a comment, or should I just say that I could care less that Jimmy Kimmel is coming back on the air
Who?
tonight? Some guy,
Yeah.
he thinks he's
Let me
funny.
see.
He thinks he's funny.
Oh, like
His
me.
writers are not funny.
Oh, he's got writers and he's still not funny?
Yeah, he's got writers. He's not funny. He rates a 1.4
You're fired.
currently on a 1 to 5. In
Well, wait a minute.
entertainment value.
Isn't this the guy that got the boot?
Yeah, he got the boot after he made his comments were ill-timed and
Insensitive, very
Insensitive
insensitive
for
at
the-
the time.
Did he write
But-
them?
no, he didn't write them. It's his writers write all his stuff.
So why did they fire them?
It's Morty.
Well, I don't know why, but I tell you, if they could want to do America a favor, of course, I don't watch it, so I'm just saying from comments that I hear from other people, Whoopi, go back and make Sister Act 3. You women on The View are useless. Thank you.
You know what? I am probably the only person in the room, and
Excuse
definitely
me.
could be in the entire county, who's never watched that show.
Oh, no. I watched clips when the
I know.
news media
The
put
The
crap
first year it
out
came
there.
out, I watched it. After that, I was like, eh.
I saw absolutely no. It was a bad time of day for
It
me.
was-
whatever, because it was anytime I was awake. But I had no reason to watch it whatsoever. We have the spawn of Satan is here. You better watch out for your bag. He may leave something for you. Okay, we got a caller. Uh-oh, hold on.
Ow.
Okay, Marty, are you there?
I'm here.
Well, thank goodness. I got the right button.
I just want to kind of reflect on Chris's Jimmy Kimmel. I don't care 2 cents about him, but it's going to be interesting what he says or does not say tonight on this count. He's been gone for a few days. I believe the CEO of Disney is over all of that. ABC and ESPN, they're trying to buy NFL Network. I believe he had a talking to saying, you can't say this, you can't say that. And if you agree to it, we'll put you back on. That's my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Yep.
thing.
I agree.
And they want to they want to buy NFL Network, and they got to have the government's approval to do it.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Well, that and
It's down to money.
I think they also threatened to take away his free pass for It's a Small, Small World at Disney.
Meow.
wow.
He's not
Sorry?
funny. He's not funny.
No, he's not. Horrible.
I watched him some way back many years ago, but then when he got so political and so his rhetoric got so bad, I quit watching him.
Satire is funny or can be funny. Well, when you're vicious with satire, it's, that gets to be very unfunny very quickly. When you get to be biting, when you do things intentionally to hurt other people's feelings, and the people that you're making fun of, they don't laugh with you, then it ain't funny.
No.
It's vicious. And, we in America, we have enough vicious going on. We don't need any more from somebody that we hire to entertain us. We brought you into this world. We can take you out.
Well, I just don't understand with their low ratings. I know it was bad timing on his part. If you look at his ratings, why he's still on, I couldn't give you a clue. The nighttime television ended with Johnny Carson.
Exactly.
In my opinion,
Yes.
that's when that. Now I know Letterman came on, but Letterman's gone out somewhere.
Yeah. Well, Carson was it for me. But then Leno, I warmed up to because he was okay, and I stayed up late at night, and he was funny, and he was not vicious. He had a different way about him. He was not dressed impeccably. He was, he was just there.
Yeah.
Carson wore like, the Carson line of clothes.
Oh, yeah?
He was like GQ on steroids. It's kind of like Marty. He dressed a lot like Marty does when Marty's not working.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Marty?
Well, I do want to say
He's not as
something
funny as I am either.
No.
about the Jimmy Kimmel show. There are affiliates that are saying they're not going to put them on, and these are like 20 of them that are owned by the Sinclair Broadcast Group.
Yeah.
And TV12 here is owned by Sinclair.
Broadcast groups, they control, they're private, and they own the stations and themselves. They own the TV station. Channel 12 is one of them. Gray Communications is another one. WI10 is owned by that company. They will own, at one time, the group that I worked for owned 45 TV stations, which was just like, holy crap.
Yeah.
When we had to go to a meeting, and I had to deal with 44 other news directors, and general managers, and presidents and vice presidents to the third president. It was worse than bureaucracy at the federal level. But it was privately owned, and it's like when they say, well, Mr. Network people, Mr. ABC, we got 26 of your affiliates, and we're not going to carry him. So you're going to lose any audience that we may have brought you. That for 26 stations.
Yeah.
That's a significant.
Mhm.
What are there, about 300 ABC stations in the country? Maybe, probably not that many. There's 700 TV stations total, but probably about 225 or so ABC stations. That's a significant number to say, no, we're not going to do it. We speak, you might want to be listening, ABC. And Marty, I agree with you. I don't think he's funny. I've seen very little of him. I couldn't make it through one evening with him one time. And that was just like, you're not funny. I know funny. I watch funny on YouTube a lot.
Yeah.
So there's some good. Go if you want to find funny. Go find Jeff Allen on YouTube right now and sit down and watch him. Edame. Oh my God, she's hilarious. And of course you got Dunham. He's funny, but he's not really listed as a comedian, but he is. But he uses his props. He's got a whole
Trunk.
full of characters with him every time. So there are funny people out there.
There are.
Kimmel's not one of them.
Well, I'm gonna stay up tonight at 11:30 just to see if our TV 12 puts it back on.
I'm sure I'll be up, but you let me know how it works out for you.
Because like I said, it is owned by Sinclair, and Sinclair's always already put out notice that quite a few of their affiliates will not be showing it. So,
All right, Marty.
we'll see.
Lee's been having some problems with her back. She's not out there practicing dancing that we know of. She could be one of those ringers, though, for the Dancing Stars. Have you heard anything about her coming out to do a special during the performance?
I'll tell you what, I believe she is practicing not for this next month, but a year from now.
No.
How about this? Breaking news.
Breaking news.
No.
Marty just let it out.
Would you be her project manager?
Racers. God.
We
you both got that in a hurry.
Woo. No, I got a hip that's going bad. My back is going. Yeah, it's not happening.
Well, see, you could get extra points just for. It's kind of like golf. There's a handicap. The judges would have a handicap they'd have to offer her, right?
Oh my gosh. No. I enjoy watching everyone, all the youngsters here in Onslow County get up and dance. So they're the money makers.
How about that, Marty? You've been called a youngster.
Youngster,
Yes.
That'll be the last time. Don't worry about it.
I don't feel youngsters.
I was going to ask you about your Ben Gay. If you have any left over.
Yeah.
No, it's gone beyond being gay. I mean, a 55-gallon drum of the whatever you get off of Amazon.
Oh well, I got some stuff. I got some
What's
stuff
it?
for you. Our friend Timmy. You know Timmy.
Ornament.
Yeah, that's the one. Jackass juice, Beagle oil they call it, and then Beagle is not spelled like the dog. It's so different. But I've got some of it. It's good.
God, you smell so good. What are you wearing? Oh, Beagle oil.
Jackass juice.
Goodness gracious.
That's what he puts on his donkeys. Do that again.
All right. I just want to call and give you my 2 cents worth.
Thanks.
I appreciate it. Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
And
Goodbye.
anybody else that'd like to chime in on Jimmy Kimmel or The View or any of those other shows that aren't worth a dime, give us a call, 910-333-0139. Somebody that is worth a dime tomorrow, Sergeant Major Mayfield will be in here with a very, 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 very special
Wonderful.
announcement.
I like my Mr. Major.
Oh,
Sergeant
yeah.
Major, sir.
Hey,
Major, sir. Absolutely.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
had a nice conversation with him yesterday.
Wonderful. He is a great guy.
Back in the 1950s and 1960s, there was a local radio celebrity around here named Paul Parker.
I remember.
There was a particular
about
type
him.
of sandwich that he liked.
Yes.
One he designed himself.
Gary's Lounge.
It's the way he ordered it, his way.
Mhm.
One of the local restaurants at the time, it's no longer here, started promoting the Paul Parker sandwich.
I remember that.
Cannot remember what was actually on it. Right now, another restaurant in Jacksonville is producing that sandwich.
Really? Seriously?
yeah, baby.
Who?
I keep meaning to ask the owner about it. I will one day, I promise, and I'll get back to you. Maybe I'll just
Is it on the water?
no. Maybe I'll just. He got great shakes too.
Do tell. I want to go.
Oh,
I want to go get a Paul Parker.
I got an idea. Onslow Drive?
That's the one?
I'll pass
Okay.
that.
I'll
that
put
was
that
going to be my
extension if you're local.
second guess. Yes.
Okay. Charlie Kirk liked a particular beverage. He
Yes,
wanted
he
it
did.
prepared his way from Starbucks. He described it as a mint majesty with 2 honeys,
Mm-hmm.
and it was available at Starbucks. They made it for him his way. So now it's on their menu, or has been for quite a while. You can get one. And I guess some of the Starbucks, maybe all of them, I don't know. Charlie Kirk special. Sunday evening, a woman up there in Ohio,
Uh-oh.
she ordered Kirk's go-to Starbucks drink
Mm-hmm.
and was shocked when she got it to see a handwritten hate message on her cup when it was handed to her.
Oh, no.
In bold print, it said, "Racist Fav drink," on the side of the cup. It was written by an employee at the Starbucks location
A former employee?
that was located inside a Kroger store in Middletown, Ohio. She complained, as rightfully she should have. The employee admitted that, yeah, I wrote that. And the employee is no longer an employee.
Good.
How low and divided is this country today?
I agree.
I sincerely do
I
not
agree.
believe there are enough Americans who followed Charlie Kirk that did not like him. They didn't follow him. Most people didn't even know who he was.
That's right.
I believe this simply because Kirk was a fan of Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason that the rabid extremists have acted like spoiled, rotten brats since he was killed. Trump, yeah, he is a polarizing person who happens to be the president. He was elected last November, getting more than 50% of the votes that were cast, certainly not a landslide, by the way. The intelligent among you who know anything about history or who have gone back to take a look at history will find out that John Kennedy, a very popular president, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He beat Richard Nixon in 1960, 49.72% to 49.55%.
Mm-hmm.
You know how close that is?
Very.
49.72 to 49.55%. A lot closer than the Trump-Biden race. A confusing third-party run made up the difference in the Kennedy run. Votes that could have seen Kennedy defeated. That's how close it was. Trump led Biden 49.8% to 48.3% of the votes that were cast.
Yeah.
Tell me, after a strong, albeit not large win, why those who voted for Biden are more hateful every day of the week than those who voted for Nixon in 1960.
Right.
Well,
Those who voted for Nixon, I mean, the race was a whole lot closer. They had a lot more reasons in their minds to not like Kennedy. To not like Kennedy than the people today who don't like Trump. Trump's brash. Kennedy was not. Back in the day, people who lost were more civil than those who lose today.
Yeah.
You lose an election, back in the good old days, what we call the good old days, if you lose that election, you lost. You shake hands and you move on. Today, they're vicious. Trump was vicious in his waning days as the president, the first go round.
Yeah.
That was mean. That was uncalled for. Take your lumps and move on, right?
right.
That's what you do. You get fired from a job, you take your lumps and you move on. You just go find something else to do. I'm sorry, I'm sorry I didn't live up to your expectations, or maybe you didn't like the shoes that I wore. That's what an employer can do. Done.
Yeah.
That's what voters can do as well.
I think Lee hit it yesterday, hit the nail on the head yesterday when she was talking about these 17, 18, 19-year-old college students who have just entered college, just
mean
gotten out of high
You
school.
mean the people who could not vote until a few years ago?
Pretty much. And just will go out there to get a sign out there. And I'm the one that said they just want their 15 seconds of fame. They have no idea what they're protesting. I'll protest anything. What are you protesting? I don't know. I just heard there was a protest here.
It's something to join in on. You know, this is mob mentality is what we used to call it.
Yeah, don't.
Huh?
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
They move microphones on me.
Yeah, I know. I moved mics on you. These young students, young college kids, fresh in college, coming up there and wanting to debate. And what they did was they would Google something and they would come up there. I mean, I actually saw them. They would go, well, I Googled it and it said this or that.
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me check my phone. What does it say? What does it say? What's the latest on Facebook? What do you know?
And it just so disappoints me that the ugliness that I saw with some of these young people. I mean, where was their upbringing? Where were they taught? When were they taught to? Weren't they taught to respect? But the disrespect that they exhibited was just unreal. And I will say that during the debate, like watching Charlie Kirk, he would tolerate it, and he would say, "Okay, give me a fact."
He was the gentleman in a world of non-gentle people.
Yeah.
Let's just put it on a sports level for just a second. I'm not a big sports guy, but I love watching football, local high school football. I don't care about the national leagues. They're far removed from me. I can't smell their popcorn or buy any of their popcorn and can't afford the tickets. If the Democrats and Republicans today were to ever get together and play football against each other, having watched what we go to ball games every week and see, I have no doubt that the number of penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct would dominate the game stats. There would be more penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct in the world of Democrats and Republicans when they get together than on any football game between the biggest rivals in this country, high school, JV, or that other thing they call pros.
It'd be played between the 35-yard lines because each penalty is 15 yards.
Yeah.
So for every play for 15 yards, you're going to get unsportsmanlike conduct.
And then half the distance to the goal line, probably a lot of them, will, if they get down that far. Penalties about the penalty. I lived during the Kennedy years. I was alive. I remember it. I was in school when he was elected president. I remember listening to him. I was in school when he was killed. I listened to him on shortwave radio talking about the Cuban Missile Crisis because he wasn't on regular radio. But I could listen to the other shortwave stations that we have a bunch of them in this country, used to have. This Cuban Missile Crisis, the event that almost plunged us into a war with Russia at that time. We were that close. It could have gone either way. He stood up and said no. When Kennedy was killed, the nation, in my teenage eyes, was more united. You didn't hear a bunch of anti-Kennedy stuff. You didn't hear this. You didn't hear that. You didn't see protests. You didn't see massive numbers of idiots. You saw people crying. That was what the newsreels were. That's what you heard from the anchors. The Chet Huntleys, the David Brinkleys.
Walter Cronkite.
That's
the best.
Frank McGee. Mm-hmm. That's what you saw. What's happened to us? I attended, not as a participant, a KKK cross burning here in Onslow County many years ago. Yeah, a hate-filled event. I went because it was a hate-filled event, not as a participant. I was there officially. I remember feeling so bad for the 6 and 7-year-old boys. I was up front, right there up front, as close as you can be without getting singed. These 6 and 7-year-old boys standing with their excuses for dads, rallying around the cross when it was set ablaze. And I feared the future at that time. with that generation coming of age? What will our next two generations look like with so many young people expressing such uncontrolled anger and hatred for their fellow Americans, people who have been murdered? And then there are the people that just are praising the guy who's accused of killing him. That's when you draw a line. Now, whoever the guy that killed him, when they find him for sure, convict him, I'm not like Erica Kirk. I will never be like her. I could stand there and watch that man put to death and go out and have a milkshake, because he's not worth
Right.
me spending any of my tax dollars to let him serve the rest of his life in prison.
Well, the president did apologize to Erica because he said, "I don't forgive him."
Oh, yeah. Well, Donald Trump and I have at least one thing in common. Maybe not. We have one thing in common.
One thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, now we're gonna go to some pleasant news.
Yeah.
Local.
Let's go to local.
We're gonna be live local. Does this gentleman have any idea what he's in for today?
Oh, don't make me think the worst.
Not at all. Never done this before.
You have never done this before.
No.
Well, welcome.
Well, back in the old days, I would have said you have the right to remain silent, but here you don't.
Okay.
We had the
No.
former mayor Jeff in a couple times, giving us
Oh, we
scoops
did.
and updates on what was happening in Holly Ridge.
Yeah. Well, first of all, can you take photographs too? Because Jeff was a good photographer. He
No,
and I had a lot of
not
fun.
as good as him. He's a great guy. And
He is a great guy.
very professional and does a good job.
Mayor Pete Parnian.
Yes.
I did it right?
You did it right.
Golly.
Yeah.
Put one up on the board for me. There's plenty of room to blow one up because I don't have any
Yeah,
more.
you notice I was just sitting back waiting for you to do it.
So anyway, Mr. Mayor, we appreciate you coming in.
Well, thank you.
As I said earlier, you are in a unique category as being a mayor.
Yeah.
I'm sure there have been a number of mayors who have been people who have been appointed to fill an unexpired term of a mayor, means they're not elected by the people. But you were a double whammy here.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got appointed to fill an unexpired council member's term, and then when the mayor, when he got up and left, I think moved out of the town limits or something.
No, he just had personal commitments and
okay.
it was impacting his business. So he recommended me and the council
So then,
selected me.
as I jokingly put, just consider this as funny. The members of your council, they didn't want you on the council with them anymore. Is that what it was? So they moved you up and out?
I don't know. It was really an honor to be part of the council. I'm not a politician, never served in capacity before. In my business background, I did interface with a lot of politicians in my government contracting work. I always ask for money and so forth. But this is different. It has been really an honor and privilege to be able to serve in this capacity. But when I was on the council and Jeff resigned, he recommended me. He said, "You just can't stop talking about things that we can do. So maybe as a mayor, he can do better." So it was an honor to be selected, and it's been a year, and it's been great for me.
Well, Holly Ridge, you got one traffic light. I used to work in our town to have one traffic light.
Sure.
It was when I was wearing a badge in those days, and the way I always put it to people, I didn't have to put the address of where they ran the traffic light on the ticket. It was only one. No problem. So,
Ran the light in Holly Ridge.
Yeah, he ran the light in Holly Ridge. That's it.
Right.
But I like small towns. I love small towns. Jacksonville grew up way too fast. Whew. But, it is what it is. But it's been controlled. I like that.
Right.
And we've had a great government here in the county, in the city. I think all of the communities in our turf have really good governments. Have had them for quite some time. For a lot of folks, don't know. They know that the guy, the mayor, he's a chief guy. He's the only person anybody really knows when they start talking about a town. Who's the mayor? They don't ask who the town clerk is. They don't ask who the city manager is. Right. People say, who's the mayor? That's the only thing they know. What does a mayor do? What is your job?
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess the most important part of the mayor's job is to be the face of town to the citizens and to outside entities. Council members obviously have a voting power and make decisions. Mayor doesn't make any decisions, or mayor doesn't get the voting power.
You can
the
only
job.
break ties. Is that what it is?
Yes, if there are
Every town has its own
Right.
charter, so.
right. Our charter is we have 5 council members. If one council member is missing and there is a vote, the mayor would make a tie. Is the tiebreaker vote if there's a tie.
Yeah.
The mayor also sort of depends on his or her experience, deals with issues related to town and makes recommendations. In my case, because of my business background, 35 to 40 years of business background, I started by looking at the town sort of as a business and look at it from financial perspective, from a strategic planning perspective, and so forth. And it's been learning for me as well, because obviously I'd never done this before. But it's been very enjoyable because you mentioned you like small towns. Holly Ridge is the fastest growing town in the county. We're running at about 7% growth rate. And there has been some years that the growth has been much higher, up to 40%. So the town that you remember probably is not the same. You're right. We still have only one traffic light at the corner of 50 and 17. But our population now is about 6,000. And if we continue growing the natural growth, we'll be around, 9,000 in 7-8 years. So we have to plan for that growth. What I have done, or I have believed that sort of we have mapped it along with the council members, is for the first time ever, we build a strategic plan. Where are we going? What are our objectives? What are our focus areas? And I can talk about that. I can talk about that forever. But, the idea was, as a mayor, to help the town management build a roadmap for where we're going, no matter who's in charge, who's the mayor, who's the council member. And also, what is our financial situation every year, based on the projected cost. And all of these are projections anyway, but projected costs. And then, because we are in a unique area, we have some potential growth in an area called Camp Davis. And that area is known to the county, and there are 2 parts to it, and I'm happy to talk more about it, but I want to make sure I answer your question. There's an industrial park and there's a residential park. And, it's important to the county. It, as a whole, is probably the 3rd largest project in the state after McCarthy and Raleigh area.
What? Let's do that again. The 3rd largest what in the state?
It's when you look at the project as a whole and economic impact, the economic impact based on Jacksonville Economic Development Corporation, who is our partner in building that, and they're here.
Are you talking about the 1,200?
Joe Ed.
Yeah, I know what that.
Right.
But you're talking about the new project
Right.
that you're talking about. Okay, but
And that is
explain that new project just a little bit.
Sure. There is an area north of Holly Ridge that is about 700 acres. This 700 acres that's deeded as in this light industry. So the only light industry can be built there. The anticipation is we will have about 70 light industrial units. We call it phase 3 because phase 1 and 2 are already part of Holly Ridge, Onslow Bay Boat, or, there's companies that are already there, Gulfstream Steel and so forth. They're already there in phase 1 and phase 2. The long-term plan that Joe Ed developed for us was there's 700 acres of industrial park, and north of it there's 1,200 acres that's on Wassa land, and part of that 700 is also on Wassa land. And on Wassa designated that and deeded that as what they call workforce housing. Workforce housing is not low-income housing. It's a housing that they anticipated that people that work in industrial park live there.
Mhm.
The industrial park is going to generate somewhere around 2,500 to 3,000 jobs. It is over a 10-year period, so
Sure.
nothing is going to happen right away. And north of it, potentially could be a residential area of 2,000 houses and so
Okay.
forth.
There's a company or a developer, right?
Yeah, one developer came and made a presentation.
Okay. He's made a presentation. He's from, where is he from?
He's from Wilmington.
Okay.
And then those parcels of land, go ahead.
He represents somebody who owns that chunk of land. That's
No,
on Wassa, right?
Now, Wassa is the owner of the land.
Right. But
Yeah.
is he
Excuse me.
representing them to? So
He's
he
not
can-
representing them. He's
not,
the buyer.
okay.
Isn't that the land that Royce was talking
Yes,
about?
that's the same property.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that land, by the way, spans across two counties,
Mhm.
Pender County and Onslow County. And so the idea was, again, this either going to happen through Hollow Ridge or the county, because right now is a property on Wassa. And so to answer your question, Wassa gave authority to Joed to
To
do the
negotiate.
economic development and negotiate. Joed then gave option contracts to a number of people. Joed negotiated option contract with the owners, which is on Wassa, and also the Ottaway property, which is in Hollow Ridge. So we are in the infancy stages of doing this development, and it's going to take a long time, and it's going to take a lot of transactions and so forth. But this particular transaction that you have talked about in your show, I guess it was maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, is that a developer has come and said that I can develop this housing area and has some plans to do that. And that was, it came to the council, and we still had to do some things were incomplete, like the signatures on some of the documents.
Mhm.
So that's ongoing. And Royce, being on the board of Wassa, Mr. Bennett, Commissioner Bennett, I'm sure he'd explain it to you if he was here.
Yeah. Okay. So this company, which is on Wassa, and it's one of ours. It's a private company. It's not the government or anything like that.
Right.
They have a piece of property, 1,200 acres.
Well, it's more than that. I mean, down Wassa also has a track.
That they're planning to sell, though, or offering for sale.
They're offering it for
Okay,
sale.
because they're not using it as something that they bought one time and decided it would not do what they wanted it to do. They could not do on that piece of property what they wanted to do.
That's right. I mean, I don't know the decision
That's
process.
what Commissioner
Why?
Bennett said.
Yeah. That-
So anyway, they're going to sell it, and there's a company developer who says he would like to develop it. Has he made a condition of you guys annexing that property as a condition of the sale of that property, whether he would buy it or not?
No, he has not.
Okay.
He has come to us first.
Okay.
Now, based on my discussion, I'm quite involved with the county commissioners and so forth. And he also made a presentation to our citizens. The idea is, if possible, for them to annex the property. Obviously, Hollow Ridge would benefit from a tax base. However, if we don't annex it, this development is going to continue, and it's going to be developed under county. Now, it has to go through the planning process of the county as well.
Sure.
And it's going to happen. So the infrastructure impact, like sewer, water, transportation, schools, and all the other growth impacts are going to be almost the same as a part of county development or Hollow Ridge development. The benefit would be Hollow Ridge gets expanded and we get the tax base,
Right.
and that tax base generate income, and we can do more for our citizens. Now, there's a negative aspect of feeling about growth that is too big for Hollow Ridge, or it's too many people and so forth. All of those are true, and we just have to manage it, be smart about it. If we annex it, again, it's not my decision.
Mhm.
It's a council decision, and there's a lot of, right now, there are probably 2 camps in Hollow Ridge.
Only 2. That's unusual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I know, just making a statement, I know my counterpart, Mrs. Royal, has been here, and you have had her a couple of times on the show. I have great respect for her. We were friends before, and she's very smart and very passionate. But we have two different visions for Holly Ridge. It's just different.
Okay, for the folks who have no clue what we're talking about, Dorothy Royal is running for mayor.
Right.
You're running for mayor. You're not
Right.
running for re-election. You're already a mayor, but you have to run this time
Right.
to be elected to be elected by the people. So Dorothy Royal is she the only person? Other
That's correct.
Okay,
It's her
I
and
don't know.
Anthony.
I haven't looked at it, to be honest with you.
And there are other council members, and
Yeah, I got that.
Right.
So anyway, so there are two different camps there, obviously, like you're saying. The county will get it if it's whether it's annexed or not. The county gets it tax dollars.
that's correct.
Okay, the county will get its tax dollars from whatever the money is, because we know how that works. Because I live in the city of Jacksonville, and which is also included in the county of Onslow. I pay them one bill. I pay these people
That's
one bill, so I get double taxes basically
Right.
for living here. But the benefits that I get for living in the city, even though I pay county taxes, I get, water and sewer here. I get this, I get that. In just the county, they don't have to provide that. So if the city of Holly Ridge, the town of Holly Ridge does not annex this area, you don't have to provide them law enforcement protection. You don't have to provide them fire protection, which you don't provide fire protection. A volunteer provides it, right?
Yes, that's your
So-
statement is a little. I hope I can respond to your
Okay,
statement.
let me finish that
Sure.
then. But you don't have to provide them the water and sewer. You don't have to maintain their streets, right? That's all
Right.
falls under a county and or state operation if it becomes a state roadway. But in the city, you would have, if it's in the city, you would have to maintain the streets, right?
Well, so let me clarify
Okay.
what you said. On Wausau, it provides water and sewer to the county as well as to the town.
Right.
So even if the county develops it, obviously, all the infrastructure has to be there before the first house flushes toilet.
Sure.
I learned this term from builders that when is the first time they can flush toilets? Well, on Wausau has to provide water and sewer if it's in the city or if it's in the county. It doesn't,
Why does Onwassa have to provide water and sewer?
because they are a county entity for water and sewer.
Yeah, they're the provider.
Are
of
they
that area.
is it a requirement? There are people in Onslow County that live in the county that do not have water and sewer provided by Onwassa.
There are on Wausau, for example, in Jacksonville.
Jacksonville
Yes.
is a different story. That's the city. The
Right.
city is required to provide city and water and sewer. Where they get it is irrelevant to the taxpayers. But somebody that lives Drummer Kellum Loop Road that is not, they don't have water lines or sewer lines running there. The county does not. They're not required to tap onto county water and sewer. Period.
Yeah, they can have well and
Septic tank.
septic tank.
All right. So
But for the developments, right now, any development, large or small development, any homeowners association or any large parcels, we have, on Wausau, is obligated by the county.
So the
provide water
the
and
county has an ordinance, a requirement that any subdivisions or communities that are built on Wausau has to provide water and sewer for them. Is that correct?
I don't know if it's in terms of ordinance, but on Wausau is a county's representative to provide.
They're not a
water and
county
sewer.
entity though.
That's correct, but they're a semi-government entity because they're a nonprofit organization.
Right.
So they are obligated to provide water and sewer. Now, the timeline depends on the agreement that they have. For example, in this area, I know the county commissioner Bennett is heading the board, and they very much want to extend the water and sewer to this area. For example, one of the assigned land for this area was a school, Dixon area school system, to build an elementary school. All of that requires Onwassa to provide the infrastructure to the area, even if it's in the county. In terms of, you mentioned law enforcement, yes, correct that they're not part of the town, but based on the feedback that I'm getting, and is consistent in other areas, our police and our fire that are in Holly Ridge still will respond to a certain distance.
There are
from
mutual aid agreements always. Yes, I understand
So
that.
the question that some of the citizens ask is, what is the cost to the town to annex?
Mhm.
How much do we have to pay? Some people think we have to pay the developer, and that's not true. Or some people say, well, we have to have extra officers and extra fire protection. That part is correct, but the county does not have the capacity right now. If they build it on the county and it's not annexed, the county doesn't have the sheriff's office does not have capacity to support policing that area. So we still, Chief Sork from our police department still has to respond to that. And also our volunteer fire department, Chief Longo, still has to support that. So it's a complicated situation, but if you look at the growth in about 10 years, so the plan that this guy presented to us was about 200 houses in 2028 and growing at about 200 or 300 houses until they get to capacity of 2,000. So if you look at the rate of, for example, police protection, is about, right now we're running about 2.3 police officers for every 1,000 of population. So yes, we have to add in 2 years or in a year or two, we have to add one police officer and then the next and next. And the same with Chief Longo and the fire department. Paramedics and fire has to increase. So if they are annexed, we have more, the cost to us as a town would be additional police officers and fire protection. And of course, when you grow, there's impact on the school system, there's impact on transportation.
That's the county bill.
But
Either way.
right. But those, well, the roads, at least the main roads, are state DOT, which is really difficult to work with. But again, from the county perspective, the school capacity changes are still their responsibility, no matter
Sure,
county
the,
or
the
house.
county is.
Right.
Now, for the citizens of Holly Ridge, I think that's what the citizens of Holly Ridge are concerned with. Okay? They could already pay county taxes. They know about that part too. But for the citizens of Holly Ridge, if they have to, at some point in time, over a period of time, as you say, perhaps 10 years with 2,500 additional people coming in, that's not going to happen overnight. They don't put houses up overnight.
Right.
I hope not. They've made that mistake.
That'd be a disaster if they
They've made that
do.
mistake many times in the past. I come from a construction family. I know very well how that
Right.
works. So all that's well and good. How much will the town, this piece of property, I'm not sure what it's worth today. What do you have any idea what it's
It's about
worth?
$70,000 an acre.
Okay, so you got 1,200 acres you're dealing with.
Well, 1,200 north, and the north part, that deal is a little bit different. That deal is between the developer and on Joed and on Wausau, so I don't know the exact price of
The
that.
area to be proposed to be annexed is how
Right.
big?
It's about 1,200 acres.
Okay, so let's go down to that 1,200 acres. How much will that generate at today's prices for the town of Holly Ridge, tax base?
Right. So based on our calculation, so it's not only, I just want to make sure that there's a property tax.
Yep.
And there are people that live in them and they pay income tax and the secondary income and so forth.
They don't pay income tax to the city. What does it generate for the city of Holly Ridge?
Well, that's what I mean. If it's annexed,
Even if it's annexed?
no, we
they
get
don't-
a portion of based on population. We get that money back from the
you
state.
get sales tax, not
We get-
income tax, right?
We get portion of the income tax and portion of sales tax. We get a ad valorem tax that's calculated based on the population.
So you
So-
get part of the state sales, state income tax money back from the people who
we
live
get
there?
we get proportionate. The proportions are calculated by the state and by the county. We get that money transferred to us. That's one of the tax items that we get,
I know,
as well
I
as
know,
well as sales tax.
I know the tax rate, the property tax rate, obviously, that's going to be the primary source of income, right?
That's correct.
Okay, so how much money will the property tax rate generate?
It generates probably by the end of the development.
No. The day one, just you annex it.
By the day one,
Somebody's got to pay that
Right.
property tax on day one, right?
that's correct. The year after day one,
Short.
we get about 250,000 land tax.
Okay, that's what I'm looking for.
And then
How much will it cost you on day one to furnish police protection? You have no houses there. To furnish the extra police protection, when would you start having to pay out to generate this $250,000?
well, presumably, as soon as you have people living there,
Okay.
or any part of industrial park is built, one of those 70 units is built,
Mhm.
inherently we have to provide some sort of protection.
Got it.
So
So
over
there's,
to answer
there's not a lot of money outgoing from the taxpayers of that $250,000 coming in on day one, right?
that is, well, year after day one. Right.
Day one will be the year after,
That's
whatever,
correct.
the day
Right.
that the first tax money is paid.
And of course, that trickles down because, they're building houses and then you get property tax.
Those property taxes should go up with the houses built on it, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And again, everything
it's
is a
more
year.
valuable.
Everything is a year delayed. So when the house is built and it's filled with occupants, the year after that, you get the tax.
We understand that. But so if it takes 10 years, you think it would take 10 years to fully develop it for 2,500 homes or 2,500 residents?
The developer, when he did his presentation, it takes 7 years from the beginning of the building,
Mm-hmm.
because he still has a lot of regulations to comply with
Absolutely.
for 2-3 years. So we anticipate if we really look at the whole project, Joed estimated that the economic impact of Camp Davis and Project Ajax is about $1.5 billion. That's the economic impact. Now, Holly Ridge right now, based on my calculation, our economy is about $600 million.
Mhm.
That based on the income as well as the revenue of all the entities that we have. So when they calculated that, you look at an economy size that grows by threefolds, it's a major issue. I mean, it's a major
Mhm.
endeavor, and it's going to require a lot of smart development, a
Is
lot
that
of
one
smart
traffic
planning.
light you have in your town going to be able, and that highway going to be able to handle that 25?
Yeah, traffic is going to be. You're right. Traffic, and I'm sure you have experience with it.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
DOT and school system are always 1 or 2 phases behind development. They don't build roads with the hope of people building houses around it. They build roads just like Hampstead Bypass, 5 years behind. School system wait until the school doesn't have any more capacity and say, maybe we should build a new school. We went and, for example, I went to Dr. Barnes and Dr. Gardner, who are at the school system, and I showed them our projection. I said, if we do this is our new projection. They said, we better update our projection. So there are a lot of issues ahead.
Mhm.
I can't guess they're going to go well, they're going to go bad, we're going to have bumps. But the facts are either we're going to annex or we're going to let the county develop it. The timeline may change a little bit, but we need to do more in Holly Ridge. You say one traffic light. We really have substandard public service things for our citizens. Our community center is really not suitable for 6,000 people. Our parks are too small we don't have any sports fields really that would satisfy. So you look at our town hall is really substandard for a town of our size. So we're hoping by generating more tax base, we're going to be able to do more for the citizens. That's really the goal, to do more for the citizens.
A question. So Coastal Carolina's getting ready to come in, I think, to assume some property and build
The college.
the
That's
college.
right, yeah.
That's right.
Does that have play into this at all?
No, that was, as I mentioned, phase 1 and phase 2 are completed. Phase 2 had a number of lots. One of the lots was for UPS. UPS decided to pull out based on the economic condition and the number of warehouses that were closing. We were fortunate enough to negotiate with UPS to buy the property back from them at the price that we sold them 4 years ago. That was, nice of UPS to negotiate that, but they really wanted to get rid of it. So, and then Coastal Carolina, we have been talking to them for a period of time. They want to build an incubation area for and training area and so forth. So we sold it to them for $1.5 million. This is all public information.
Right.
Now, this 500,000 was actually planned during our budget cycle because we knew this was going to happen. It's just a matter of paperwork.
Who, I'd ask you in the beginning,
Sure.
what's the job of the mayor? Obviously, at the mayor's level, you're negotiating or you're dealing with, you're talking with these other individuals. You can't really negotiate as an individual, right? As a mayor.
No,
As a mayor, well, unfortunately for a lot of folks out there who don't quite understand that an individual commissioner or town councilman or a mayor or a county commission chairman, they have limited power,
yes,
almost none.
yes.
No more than I've got in most cases, right?
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, no more than I've got.
Yeah.
And in most cases, because you're elected, you don't
Right.
really, you're not paid by the town to be a boss or anything like that. You're an elected position.
That's correct.
What are your general duties other than kind of leading others around? You don't sign checks, do you? You don't do
No.
you don't do the payroll checks, do you?
No,
You don't?
CFO does.
Darn.
So I can't get in. I can't get in on it.
No, hey,
You don't pay the bills with checks. You don't.
I
You don't
don't.
write checks. You're not in control of the finances. You got other people for that. They're hired by you guys to do it. I don't remember your form of government. Do you have a manager or do you use a clerk?
it's a council manager form of government.
Council manager.
That's correct.
Okay. So you do have a manager.
Well, there's a town manager. The council manager.
That's what I mean. A town manager.
That's correct.
Okay. So there is a town manager. Other places they call them city managers, whatever. But you do have a town manager to actually do the daily running of
That's
the
correct.
mechanics of
That's correct.
how to make it work. You don't go out and dig ditches. You don't change light
No.
bulbs. You don't clean the right. None of the council people do that stuff.
That's correct.
Got it. So y'all are just kind of the overseers of what happens, and you set policy, make policy, and you agree to that. And the town manager enforces it,
That's correct.
and the police chief enforces it for the police department, and all so forth. Okay, so you guys, I just wanted to make sure that I understood how Holly Ridge works, because
Right.
I know how it works in other cities, involved with them and covering them over the years. And like I said earlier this morning, you probably weren't listening, but we're not a news operation here.
Right.
We don't do news. I had plenty of years of doing that as a boss, and as a reporter and all the way up. But we don't do news. We react to news. So that's what we're here to try to help people understand what you guys do and what's going on. What is the misconception about how Holly Ridge operates with the town residents? Is there one?
Well, I'm sure there are different views of how Holly is running. Some people say we don't know how to manage finances, although everything is open, and I've invited people to come and talk about how we spend money.
Are you sponsoring? Or do you have does the council eat steak every meeting? Do you guys bring your own steaks, or the town taxpayers pay for your steaks for dinner?
No dinner during
Okay,
the
so what
council
would
meeting.
be? How would you mismanage money? I don't.
Well, the misconception is that we are not. Again, there are different views of this, so I'm just giving you
Oh, got this.
because I hear the negative aspect.
See, that's what I want to know. So
Yeah.
what's
They
going on?
say we are spending too much money on the police. We are
Oh God,
spending.
you got to defund the police movement? Shame on
Well,
them.
no, it's not that they defund the police. They just say we have too many officers. We spend $1.9 million on our police force, and our police per population rate is really not bad. I mean, it's 2.3 right now per 1,000, which is better than North Carolina average and better than regional areas like Surf City. There's some folks, including my counterpart, that the team, the directors in the town are not doing a good job and they need to be replaced. And that's just a view. So going back to your comment, I'm going to answer your question in a minute. You said that, what does a mayor do? What's the day in life?
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to be retired. Of course, I failed in retirement, so I've gotten involved here.
So have I.
Right.
So we
I-
all.
I spent a lot of I spend a lot of time doing the strategic plan and long-term budgeting simply because of my background working with the CFO. Again, I don't make any of those decisions. I work with the CFO. Here's our budget projection. Let's go through it in detail. Strategic plan, I work with the council to build a strategic plan, which is a 5-year strategic plan with initiatives and so forth. So I deal with the town manager on a daily basis. I go over there, although I don't have to be there. I don't have an office. I sit in the conference room to talk about the issues of the day. Give you an example. We replaced trash cans all across the town, and there were more than 500 calls that had to be fielded. And sometimes the people call and say, I want to talk to the mayor. They talk to me, they complain, and I address it with the staff, and they do something. Again, I am just the interface with the citizens as well as with outside. I deal a lot with the commissioners, Commissioner Bennett, Tim Foster, and so forth. I also, I've tried to work with our vendor to build a grant program, because grant is our lifeline. A large portion of our money comes from grants.
Can be, especially for small communities.
One of my major efforts have been to make connection at every level of a government. We have much better relationship now with the county, with the state, with Representative Smith and Senator Lazara, which I'm sure you know. He has been very helpful because we had to do some DOT initiatives that they were dragging their feet, and Senator Lazara helped get that forward. I am in contact with the representatives of Senator Budd and Senator Tillis, as well as Dr. Murphy as our House representative, and he actually gave us a $1.2 million during this new budget to expand our community center. So there's a lot of interaction that happens, interaction with citizens and interaction with outside entities and the developers. Sometimes developers come in, I want to talk to the mayor. Sit down, what do you want to do? These are the types of things that you need to do, and the town manager has to approve this, the planning manager has to approve this. So I give them a roadmap. And it's good to know the business owners and developers, because I am pro-growth and pro-business. I know that's not always popular, but I think we have a great opportunity ahead. So part of my job is to help town manager sort of roadmap how we're going to do some of this. And there are mixed feeling from the citizens. Some people want to keep it small. We don't want to grow. Some people look at it that we need more facilities, therefore we need tax dollars. We're trying to, our tax rate, 34 cents, compared to your 66 cents or so, is the lowest tax rate in the surrounding area compared to Surf City or North Topsail Beach or Topsail. So, and we want to keep the tax rate low. But if you do no annexation and no tax increase, you really are stuck in that budget that's right now balanced. We spend, we basically, our budget runs about $10 million, $9.6 million. And, small compared to the county of $396 million. We are pretty small.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
So we always invite our listeners to call in 910-333-0139. Would you mind taking calls? Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we have
So-
a question. Chris, were you
sorry.
going to ask that question?
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Which one?
No, I won't go ahead because I
Oh,
don't know what it
okay.
is.
This is going back to the annexation, the possible annexation. And before I read the question, let me understand now. When is this coming before the council to vote on whether to purchase that property or not? Because
That town's not purchasing it. It's got nothing to do with the council.
no, the land by Onwassa.
The council has to vote on any annexation.
That's all.
Right.
We are not part of the transaction.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I said purchase. I meant the annexation, because that's what we were discussing last week before last, because
Right.
there's been a lot of talk about y'all are waiting till you get certain people in, et cetera. Explain all that.
Okay, sure. As I mentioned, the property owner is on Wausau.
Right.
They have given the authority to Joette to negotiate.
They're going to sell it.
Right.
Right. Well, they are, for lack of a better word, they get a cut out of it, and they,
No,
and they
I'm talking
negotiate.
Anwasa is going to sell this property.
Yes.
They're the owners. They're going to
Anwasa-
sell it by whether
a
they hire a
developer.
real estate developer or somebody else to, or a real estate agent or whatever. They're going to sell it.
That's correct.
Right.
Anwasa owns it, and their intent is to sell it.
Okay.
There's a residential tract, there's a commercial tract, as I
Mhm.
mentioned. So, because there are, so I'm going to give the legal perspective, and then I'll tell you the practical perspective. Developer came to us because he has the option to purchase from Anwasa, and the option expires in December. So he wanted to get that through, purchase that property by the time the option agreement expires
Mhm.
at a certain rate. And because if he don't sell it, Anwasa then can change the price.
Sure.
Um,
Well, that's up to him, right?
that's up to him. Right. He came to us and said, okay, if I can get the annexation, right, then I purchase the property because he
So, in other words, what you said earlier is not completely accurate. That his desire to purchase this property at this price depends upon whether Holly Ridge annexes that property.
No. Let me correct myself. He wanted to come to Holly Ridge first to get annexation.
Okay.
And his intent is that if we don't annex it, he's going to go back through the process with the county. And everybody, county commissioners all know this. Now, it may take a little longer, but the reason he wanted to do Holly Ridge first, because that was the quickest time based on his option date, option time frame, to come in, get that done, so he can purchase it and get it done. If the council decide not to annex this, which is possible, he's going to go back to Anwasa or to Joette and renegotiate the contract, and then go through the county planning process to develop it.
Gotcha. I get it.
It may have a delay of 6 months, a year, but the net result is going to be
To renegotiate, does that mean he would be offering a lower price for it?
that's between Anwasa and him.
I mean, is that what he
No,
was
we're not-
indicating?
He's worried that the negotiated price would be higher than what he can do before December.
So regardless, this
Yeah.
land is going to be sold to a developer, and
somebody.
there's going to be a development. So whether or not it is annexed by Holly Ridge first, so they can recoup, so they can get some of that money off of it,
Uh-huh.
or not, it's going in, right?
Now, if
More than
Holly
likely.
Ridge decides, okay, would Holly Ridge would have to get the request from Anwasa, not from the developer, because the developer doesn't own anything,
Right.
right? So, because he wants it annexed before he buys it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
He wants to, well, when they send a request for annexation, that requires, because to be perfect about, because Anwasa is a semi-government entity, they really don't have, and he has the valid option, they don't have to sign on that
Correct.
on that agreement. But the prudent thing for us, because Anwasa is a critical part of this development, if we manage to upset Anwasa because we are ahead of them,
Yeah.
they can delay development of the infrastructure.
Well,
So,
to play the devil's advocate, which is what I do, I've done for my entire life, because that's what I got paid to do back in the days. Looking at it, I suppose, let's suppose you annex this at the request of Anwasa. Anwasa owns it. Anwasa doesn't pay property taxes.
that's correct.
So you've annexed a piece of property into the city limits of town limits of Holly Ridge, and this developer does not, it's not sold. But you still have it annexed. You cannot de-annex it, can you?
That's correct. So,
So you're stuck with it.
right. So one of the issues that the county is dealing with, and is that because we're going through an election process. Right?
I don't care about elections.
Well, I just want to tell you
Got it.
the issues that are
That'll be over in November.
right.
Okay.
The developer doesn't want to annex it One, if he doesn't have Anwasa's approval, because
Well,
Anwasa
the
has a
developer
priority.
cannot annex it.
No, I mean, the developer he can't request
He
annexation
can't request annexation.
without getting Anwasa's approval.
Anwasa has to
He
request
wants
it.
to have to, Anwasa doesn't request it, the developer asks, because based on his option, he can purchase it. He has a valid options, and the
Mhm.
paperwork is that he has a valid option, annex it, and he would exercise the option. The complexity comes in that Anwasa really has to bless this whole thing. Okay? Even though they don't have to have a signature, but our thought process was we got to get Anwasa on board. And Anwasa's board, they are still having discussion among the board when they want to do this. And I don't know if Commissioner Bennett gave you any more insights. That's still ongoing. At this point, it is unlikely that anything will happen before election. And, the new council or the new mayor or whatever, they may decide otherwise, that they don't want to grow.
Sure.
And then that will take another path. There's no, it was never rushed per se, because we have to process requests based on first come, first served basis. The request was request for annexation, followed by a development plan. The first step in that is we have to assign the clerk and the town manager to look at the validity
Sure.
of the
Right.
data and so forth. We noticed that Anwasa's signature is not there once we looked at it. Then the lawyer said, well, Anwasa's signature does not, our lawyer, so Anwasa's signature does not have to be there because Anwasa is a semi-public entity. But we think that without Anwasa's John Hancock on it, it will create a hostility between Anwasa and the town in whatever state it is, or the developer. Although he has a valid option, it would be unwise not to have Anwasa's signature. So that's the thing remaining now. If Anwasa signs the agreement tomorrow or today, let's say,
So
then it will have to come back to the council for council blessing, and may or may not happen. It is not up to me. It is up to the council. If this thing gets delayed, let's say to November, even though before the option expires and Anwasa doesn't sign, then the developer has to go and renegotiate with Joette and Anwasa.
So there's a question from a listener here. Actually, it looks like two questions.
Uh-huh.
Has there been an environmental impact study done?
That was my next one.
Oh, okay. And because I guess they're possible because Camp Davis and stuff,
Right.
Remnants of when it was Camp Davis. So has all that been
Yes.
looked at?
So before the developer, and I'm happy to share the document with you, there were a number of steps that he had to take, including environmental studies, and there are many steps after that before he can build. So the developer has spent significant amount of money doing all the preliminary work. But again, once annexed or not, before the first house is built, there are still about 10 or so steps he has to take with various agencies. But particularly the flood study and environmental studies have been completed.
Okay. Commissioner Bennett, in his capacity as the chairman of the board of Anwasa, he was saying, help me out, Anwasa bought this particular piece of property to use it for a particular purpose, found out after they spent money for it that there were environmental conditions that would not allow them to use it for that purpose. Are you familiar with that?
No.
It would not perk.
Right.
If you understand perking.
Yeah. A couple of things. This property has the property that we are talking about, Project Ajax, has about 400 acres of wetland.
Mm-hmm.
They are not wet anymore. So one of the things that the developer
Until
did,
the next flood.
well, maybe the next one. One of the things that developer did as a part of the annexation request was to dedicate 400 acres of that as a green park.
Mhm.
That would be part of the town.
So the 1,200 acres, there's 800 acres left, right?
Right, roughly, and I'm happy to share the maps and stuff. But the idea was a natural park because you can't build sidewalks
Absolutely.
and so forth.
You can put trails
state
through it
park.
or
Right.
walkways through it. You can do things like that.
The industrial park, all I know, based on the paperwork that I've seen, the environmental study on the Project Ajax have been completed and approved. Now, after this point, there are additional steps and environmental study that has to be done, but that's all at the risk of the developer. He can't develop without checking things at the state with DEQ, Department of Environmental Quality,
Right.
engineering studies. He has done all the surveys. He did the numbers that I've heard. He has spent, quite a bit of money getting ready. I mean, from his perspective, he wouldn't have spent any money if he wasn't ready for it.
Right.
Now, I don't know what Commissioner Bennett is referring to. There are concerns always because of the Camp Davis, what is buried under there,
Uh-huh.
what are the issues, the companies, what is the water quality. Onwassa actually planned with this developer to build 2 wells within that 800 acres.
Have they tested the
What
water table, anything there? Do you know?
I do not know, but Onwassa has been involved in the planning part of this.
Sure. Onwassa would, if they can't get water from there, Onwassa pipes water in from everywhere. So they got water supplies.
Well,
They already do.
Right. And we have one water treatment plant that's on Route 17.
Mm-hmm.
Presumably, what Frank Howard has said, that eventually we'll have multiple wells in that area,
Mhm.
no matter who develops it, and they would have a water tower up right where
Oh, okay.
there's a 10-acre lot they have set aside for a water tower. Again, it's going to be maybe 5, 7, 8 years because Onwassa has to have money to do that. So a lot has to happen. It's just unfortunately what happened, either through my mistake in communication or whatever, maybe I failed in presenting it, that people thought immediately, oh, this thing is going to happen right away and we're going to have 5,000
There was
cars.
a
No,
lot of
no, all of that
social
happens
media
and-
talk on it. Yeah,
But,
we were like,
I moved to Wilmington when they were planning. I-40 was not in Wilmington. It was on the way.
right.
But they were planning to build a bypass around Wilmington. That was in 1976.
They need
That
another
opened
one.
up in 1989. The interstate opened up in
Right.
89, and then the bypass opened up in 1990 something,
it's late.
2000 and something.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, about 2007 or 8.
There
So
was
their
before
planning went
that.
from 76 to 2008, and knowing that all this was coming, and all that traffic got dumped in Wilmington on Market Street, the
Yeah.
busiest street in the area.
Right.
So planning.
Right.
If
Can
you
we-
don't do it now, waiting for all of that to happen, Mayfair, Military Cutoff was a
Mhm.
2-lane road.
Yeah.
I remember it well.
Mm-hmm.
What a disaster that was.
So, just did I answer your question? Did I answer
Oh,
your
I,
question?
I
Okay.
yeah.
DOT,
Sorry,
I'm sure you know with your experience, they do 10-year plans.
Yeah.
They have 10-year plans and they have meetings and they have public meetings and so forth. But every place that I've lived in this country, transportation is always behind phase of two.
Always, and always.
And you can say we're going to have 5,000 cars. They do actually you talk about one traffic light. We are talking about traffic light at the neighborhoods of Holly Ridge. And they do studies. We have a traffic light that we are trying to install by Drag Strip Road because it's a prerequisite to a shopping center. And they do studies and counts and so forth. And well, we don't have enough count. We don't have enough rooftops. We don't have enough cars. And you can see the traffic. The same with fast food. They say you don't have enough health care. You don't have enough heads. You don't have enough cars. We won't be profitable. So, but the problem with DOT is they're always behind.
What I used to
Right.
accuse DOT of doing,
Right.
They didn't care about the cars. They cared about body counts. Literally,
Right.
the number of people who are killed at an intersection is what determines
That's
when the
true.
traffic light goes up.
Very true.
I used to make them really mad when I would say that, but it's a fact.
That's true.
That's
they
like-
couldn't argue with it.
Talking about the bypass going from Jacksonville, going over top of Gum Branch Road. I mean, the DOT's been doing studies on that. It's going to take a long time.
Studied to death, and the
And-
prices go up every day.
And we have wrecks out there all the time. Of course, I blame that on the drivers and not the road, but that's the way the DOT operates. Just because you might have an explosion of residents within 5 years does not mean that DOT is going to go out right away and build you new roads.
No, but
they
can
don't
make
work that
they
way.
can make general plans, and once
Sure.
they got a general, okay, we know that there's going to be 1,200 acres here developed, 800 developed, and 2,500 people going to be moving in here. We need to take a look at this somewhat. Somewhere they've got an intern that's just out of school, as we all know that can happen. Hey, you need to take a look at this because we're not paying you anyway. Go take a look at this and see what you would do.
Well, that's why the county's done a strategic focus plan
Yeah.
for the next 10 years to
Yeah.
incorporate all that in their planning. So
I mean, I had interns and I had them doing all sorts of things that
I'm
didn't
sure
have time
you
to get
did.
done.
I'm sure
Oh,
you
no,
did.
not like that.
I was talking to somebody about this, and I was using an example of our DOT. They said in Texas, in some area, I guess they are building a new residential area, or they are thinking about growth in that area, and they're building the road structure first
Nice.
before any development, and that's very unusual. I said we should take example of Texas.
Well, it's not that easy.
DOT, North Carolina DOT is known to be behind the schedule.
Yeah.
Well, I can give you an example where the DOT just did exactly the opposite in another town, another county here. They said, okay, we're going to, this big property owner, he had a big chunk of property. He said, well, if y'all will put a highway through here, 4-lane road,
Oh, wow.
I will dedicate it to you. I will give you this property through this wooded section. And then as soon as they did, then he built all the houses as you can ever shake a stick at. So he made a fortune off of giving away a little piece of property. That's how they worked it. That's how that private owner worked it. And he had pull with DOT.
Right.
Well, I do want to
Maybe you
say
need some pull with the DOT.
it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of the Ajax annexation. Is that what you call it,
It is
Ajax?
called Project Ajax.
Ajax,
That
okay.
was named by, I guess, on Wausau when they were
Isn't
initially.
isn't Ajax a cleanser?
We've about talked it
Like
to
the comment?
death. I want to move on to something else.
Okay.
And we got into the discussion a couple of weeks on the show here because we've seen it ourselves. Chris and I saw it. We were talking about it. We were like, wow, what is going on with the town's social media page?
Oh, my.
Holy moly, there has been some jabs thrown and
Who controls your Facebook and social media pages? The town of. Who
the-
controls it?
The town is, we hired as a part of communication plan that I had to improve communication, a public information officer.
Mhm.
And she's in charge of
Content.
to put in our social media, the town webpage and town
How about
Facebook.
for comments that Chris here wants to make some negative comments about the mayor? Talk about him. Doesn't like your
They
haircut.
can, we have to, right now, actually, this was a point of discussion during the past couple of weeks because there has been a lot of negative comment and actually nasty comment back and forth, is that based on attorney's advice, we can't really, we can shut down comment completely, but the previous comments still has to be there. But
Really?
we are trying to, right, you can't take
I
comments.
have a Facebook page here,
You can
and
hide them.
if they put stuff on here, I can shut them
Oh,
down.
you
in a
can,
heartbeat.
you can hide them, but they have to be there as a part of the record.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. So that we have also, as a part of last.
I got some here you probably won't even read over here because I won't read them on the air here.
Okay.
That's how bad they are.
I know they're terrible.
And they're still up there.
Yeah.
They're terrible. Last council meeting.
My lawyer said I would be sued like you would not believe if I left something like this up that I would have.
Well, we
The
have
ability to
our
control.
attorney reviewed it, and here's what we decided at the last council meeting. We decided there were a lot of draft social media policy. The council assigned the town manager to put the social media policy and then get it approved at this coming council meetings and
A
then implement it.
moderator would be the proper person to moderate all comments?
There was that discussion is very valid, but there was a First Amendment issue in terms
No,
of.
there's not.
I can only I'm not legally or I'm not a communication expert. I'm just
I
taking.
deal with the First Amendment regularly. Your attorneys need to double check that, or you need to
Well, I
find
will
some new
tell
ones.
you, like I used
This
to
is
be
vulgar.
I am very
chairman.
sorry about that. I mean, there's
This is
nothing.
vulgar. I would sue you if it was me.
That was
And I
where we
would
got
win. You
into
know
a
that, right?
discussion on
I
Holly Ridge. We were
can't
like,
I would
comment on
win more than the town of Holly Ridge will make off this project. Ajax.
I know. We were like, what in the world? Because like every morning, Chris and I would come in and like, did you see what
I didn't see
You
it because
know-
I don't.
oh, yeah.
I don't troll social media.
We do.
I don't, but they do,
we do?
and they tell me they shoot me all sorts of
It's
stuff.
even gotten worse, and it's going to continue getting worse through this election unless something
Well,
happens.
can't you just cut off all the comment sections right now till after the election? Because what my issue
Well, it
is
doesn't have to
with-
be after election. We can cut comments, but the council has to approve the approach to social media
No, they
management.
don't. You can just do it. I mean,
No, I mean, it's
I don't
it's
know.
easily said,
Yeah.
but the council has to approve the policy.
well,
And there were some of the council members did research. Our mayor pro temp did some research and put together a draft, brought it to the meeting, and our lawyer and our town manager also had developed a draft. The decision by the council was to put it together and create one social media policy, get it approved by the council, and then implement it. It is personally, although comments against everybody, against
well,
candidates, against me, against the town,
Yeah.
against town manager, it's just not tolerable. I don't think it's a proper.
It's just as low life as the comments about Charlie Kirk. He's
Yeah.
dead.
right, right. And I just want to say, because I've worked in politics for a very, very long time. I used to be chairman of the Republican Party here in Nassau
Okay.
County way
Great.
back. And
Not that far way back.
well,
A couple of years.
it was enough for me anyway. And I still delve into a lot of politics, working higher up people. But when we ran into issues with ugly things being said on a political page, and when they got to the point that they were beyond proper, we hid them. So if there was ever any question, they were still there, but they weren't viewable by the public, public audience on social media. And I know recently that the Republican Party shut off all comments on their page, particularly right now through the election cycle, because during your election cycle, you run a risk of looking like you are all for one person and not giving the other person a chance. So in order to keep it neutral, we would shut off comments back then or hide them. And right now, and we all know elections can bring out some crazy
Oh, yeah.
people.
Oh yeah.
Some crazy people. But we were just talking about, we were like, good Lord, this is on the town page. Have you seen this? and I think what surprises me is Holly Ridge. I've never seen, I know at one time Swansboro got a little crazy, but they straightened right up, and all that worked out. But this has really been something.
Yeah, it's been a terrible situation on all sides, and just to be frank, one of the concerns that we have a young lady who's managing our social media. So we would say, okay, if we took the path without a written policy that's been distributed and approved by the council, if we say, you make a judgment on this comment, we have had in the past where in one incident happened that we deleted the comment, and there was an uproar that it's First Amendment and you are making the judgment. We can't put a person, especially the person that works there, in charge of evaluating what is proper and what is not.
Okay.
What do you call it proper if it has a swear word in it, improper if it has a swear word in it, or is it attacking a particular person? It's a bad social media. We are not the only one struggling with this.
This young lady,
Right.
if this was written about her, with her name put out there on your social media page, the Facebook, the town social media page that you guys own, do you think it would still be up there?
Yes, because she cannot delete anything. I guarantee you that. You can test it.
Y'all would allow that to continue?
We allow, right now, everything is allowed until a policy is approved by the council.
That would be done right after the election, right?
No, that's be done October 14th.
2 weeks before the election, 3 weeks before the election. Okay,
It is not.
No, that is the election.
Some of the tone seems like town is culprit in this. It's across all, for everybody.
Mhm.
It's across everybody. Me, my counterpart, council members, families, individual persons named.
Do you
It's a
verify
burden.
the people who are posting this stuff?
I'm sorry.
The Jacksonville Daily News, the policy has always been, you write a letter to the editor. I write a letter to the editor. If back in the day, if I did, they would call and verify that I'm the one who wrote that letter. Do you do anything like that?
No, because
So you don't even know who these individuals are.
we don't. So there are
You
some
don't know whether
fake.
they exist or not.
There are some fake social media entities.
And there's
and
no expectation of First Amendment anything for somebody who's fake.
until we have a policy approved by the council.
Okay.
Look, it's easily said that, we're not doing everything we can. Absolutely. I understand that, but I got to get my council before our town manager has to get a council decision about what to do. And some of that, and we also get the advice of our attorney regarding this.
When did you bring this to my attention?
I think it was just a couple days ago.
It is-
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
it
It's about
was-
3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Is
yeah,
it 3
yeah,
4 weeks, man?
Yeah. It's
I don't have the dates on here, but yeah, these are the comments in particular.
Well, I know that Twitter didn't have a problem with canceling Donald Trump
Uh-huh.
on his free speech. And I know that there's a lot of congressmen that I know personally that have cut off comments or hid comments on their page. I think this
I'm
is our,
assuming, Mr. Mayor, you've read these?
yeah.
I've seen some of these, and some of these are directed at me, and I'm sure you know. This
Yes, I
first,
see.
I'm sorry.
I say yes, but
Um,
I've
it's
just
been
never
going for a long
seen it.
time. It's been going for a long time, and during the election cycle, it gets fueled by more emotions, and
probably going to be viewed by a whole lot more people today because we mentioned it.
Well, I've just never seen it this bad.
it is terrible. It
Yeah.
is,
This is
Although-
low life.
although this is probably one of the most consequential elections in history of Holly Ridge. It doesn't deserve to be this way between people.
You know, I run on the issues. I don't care what the issues are. I don't care whether you like it and somebody else doesn't, or where somebody else doesn't like it or does like it and you don't. That's what makes politics. That's why you have a ball game. You got two teams, two
Right.
different people. Huh?
What kind of
You mean-
issues can Holly Ridge have?
Well, yeah, but I mean, let's just say development or whatever, or you know, you want to put up, you want to do away with the police department. Those are issues. They could be issues. You want to double your tax rate. Those are issues. Argue those as issues. You got two sides, three sides, whatever. Argue it. Stay to politics. Stay out of it.
Yeah, but
Dirty
unfortunately, the social media environment
Yep.
has encouraged, and that's true in our national politics, state politics, has encouraged that personal attacks are okay.
I
I mean, look at
understand
the
But
election process.
What is the purpose of your social media? Is it to inform the people or to inflame the people?
We don't post anything that's inflammable.
I understand,
so.
but so you do not. Your purpose is to inform the people.
The idea was to improve information flow to the public. Yes. That is a primary objective, to inform
You
the people
failed.
of what's going on.
When you allow comments like this and don't do something about it, you failed miserably.
Okay.
And you know where the buck stops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me. I don't deny that I bear some of the responsibilities, because I have one of my goals was to improve communication.
Mhm.
And we have now more frequent and more diverse communication with citizens. But the result of it is that is a communication, that's a feedback on the communication. I put a picture, I put something out there about my interview of one of the council members. The feedback is, gee, you are doing this for politics.
Are you going to get that?
I've done weekly, since I became a mayor, I've done weekly update every week. I just say, this is what's going on in town. Recently, every week is, you're doing it for politics. I've been doing it since September.
You're opening yourself up for that one, but I that's where I wouldn't have any comments available. If they want to pick another topic, we have people to try to jump on our page when we put something out there and go so diverse in another direction, has nothing to do with what we're talking about or what our guests are talking about. Done, one and done, blocked.
Yeah. It is. I officially tell you, I don't comment on anything. I just don't, because it just inflates everything. I've done it in the past a few times, but I got sorry to do that.
You know what happens when you stand in the wind and urinate, right?
So I apologize for the citizens for what's there, although I haven't done it. And it's going to go on. It's going to go on until we implement the policy, shut down the comments, or do something. It is really, my personal feeling, I'll share with you. It is very difficult to put one person in the position of deciding if a comment is inflammatory or not. How do you determine that? Is it based on your understanding of the content? Is it based on the word you use? Is it based on who it's against? It's unfair to our public information officer to be the god of social media comments.
Hide it. That's immediate temporarily.
Well,
If she has any feelings, hide it. Go to the town manager. That's the next chain of command. If he has concurs with her, leave it hidden until, if there's any dispute or whatsoever, mayor and council are next. That's a simple process.
well, my understanding of the law is that if you're using the page as a public forum, you cannot censor comments. You cannot delete them. But if you're using it just to put out information, you can cut the comments off. And maybe that's what I might do until after the elections to let things simmer down a little bit.
Yeah, well, the intent of the Facebook page and our web page is to inform the public.
Right.
That's what it should be.
Right. And there's people that are making it a public forum by getting on there and making
and
these comments.
When people use your well-intended pages for their personal benefit, for whatever it is, I don't care what side they're on. I don't care. Okay, like you, don't like Dorothy or whatever. I don't care. That's just me. But when they hijack it, that's the word that I have used. Do not hijack my page. You will regret it.
And of course, you've always got the trolls.
And then when I go into my good old days of backgrounds and I start looking for some of these individuals, may God have mercy on their soul if I was going in that business.
Yeah. Hopefully I know it's maybe late in the cycle to take care of it.
Oh, I don't care about the election. That's said and done. People going to vote any way they want to, And this will not taint them one way or the other. I will tell you that. I don't care what they put out there.
You're right.
It's not going to make any difference. 2 votes matter. How many people vote in the election?
Well, that's interesting.
Total number of people on average voted
on the
last
in 23 local election, only 600 people voted.
No, it was
In the presidential election, roughly about 40% of people voted, right around 2,000, which is a shame.
Yes, it is.
Your
Now,
municipals low.
we're hoping that with all this that's going on, hopefully we'll have more people make decision to
Issues
just
and issues.
drive,
This
right.
should not be an issue.
Right.
Stick to the issues.
Should be issue based, and we need more people to vote. I mean, this is
Absolutely.
I'm an immigrant, so I got my citizenship 45 years ago, and when I was in college, and the first election that I voted was Reagan election, and it was like,
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
I just
Oh,
I gotta go vote.
You have a notable one. Oh, God.
Well, because
We had one day of
Because-
election in those days, too.
Yeah.
because of what was going on in my home country, and people got executed, my family got executed. So I
What
said,
is
I'm
your
not
home
going.
country?
I was born in Iran.
Wow.
Yeah, and
When
I
did you
came
leave?
here 73.
Oh, you left before that.
Yes, before
Stuff that
revolution.
brought you, made
and,
you the headline of the day, right?
Yeah, when the revolution happened, my family got executed.
Oh God.
It was
Sorry.
religious persecution. I was a Christian. I wasn't there are a
Time
lot
to
of
get out?
Christians over there. Well, I was here already. I was
Oh,
in
were you?
school.
Okay.
So
Well, how long have you lived in North Carolina? When did you come to Holly Ridge?
2000. Well, he's
we
been in
came-
North Carolina since
right.
2004.
we moved. My wife is from Annapolis, Maryland. We lived in Annapolis for 20 years. Then we moved to north of Charlotte to Mooresville. Four of
I
my
love
kids
Mooresville.
were going to UNC school
Did you
system.
have a boat up in Annapolis?
No,
Why not?
we were,
Come on, the boating capital of the world.
we were living near Lake Norman, but I didn't have a boat.
That's in
I
Charlotte. but
had
mean,
too many damn kids in school.
I got you. Now the story
Yeah,
is
that's
true.
So then we have one of my daughters who's married a Marine, lives in Surf City, and she has a special need child, autistic child.
Bless her.
And my wife had a successful. I had a successful career. I mean, whatever success
What's her
means.
name? Brown,
And-
by any chance?
Yeah, Dorothy Brown.
Yeah. Huh?
Dorothy Brown Panion. And so she decided to retire, and she said, "We need to retire. Go take care of Mia." So we moved here in 2020, and this is my forever home. I'll probably die here. So.
Well, how in the world did you get involved in politics?
I've always been.
He woke up one night and it was a nightmare.
I mean, how in the world did you go from all that to?
Well, I've always been involved in different social, either church or Sunday school or mission trips or
Right.
HOAs and so forth. When I was here, I was part of the HOA in my neighborhood. And then when this happened, actually some of the people in the neighborhood said, "You really would be good at it because of what you have done." So I just said, "Okay, I want to be on the council," because one of the councilmen went to Germany and there's open council seat. They selected me. And then 2 months after that, Jeff Menzel resigned because of personal reason. And I said, "Okay, I'll be the mayor." So
Nobody
careful
else
what
on
you
the
wish for, right?
council wanted to step
my
up.
wife, you should ask my wife.
I guarantee you she said that.
She
We're probably related somewhere. You know that, right?
how do you? What did you bring Brown? How do you know the Brown?
I just know everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, her family, her mother and father were raised in Annapolis, Maryland, and she was born there. And
I had an uncle who was a boater. He spent a lot of time up in Annapolis. He was the captain on one of those big old super yacht things, you know.
then you talk about change, and people are unhappy about change. You go to Annapolis, I don't even recognize it after 20 years. Tall buildings,
Oh yeah.
and I lived interestingly. So this is just a short story. Before I moved to Annapolis and got married, I was living in Western Virginia. And when I moved from West Virginia to live in Virginia in Reston, they had this nice table with a planned community of Reston with all the buildings being two floor or not. You should go there right now. The growth has been incredible. There are, 40-story buildings, consulting companies, IT companies, and so forth, and data centers.
Thank you. No.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. So,
Real quick, Mayor Pete, before we go, isn't there an upcoming candidate forum in Holly Ridge?
yes, there is
You wanna tell
a
everybody about that.
there is a candidate forum on October 15th in the community center.
You can't do that.
I'm
That's
sorry.
the first day of deer season and the first day of oyster season.
Well,
Come on.
don't bring a gun to community center. And then there are other events going on. Each of the candidates have their own forum. There's, the idea is, you're right, issue-based discussion.
It should be that.
Not a personal issue. It's not personal. Again, I have a lot of respect for Dorothy for what she has done and what she has built and her passion. But we are on two sides of issues. That's it.
I
I
know Dorothy because she's my gun supplier. She's my gun
great.
dealer.
Well,
She's my
I still
dealer.
consider myself friends with her. We used to have coffee,
Mhm.
so after a shop. It's become more difficult because we are on opposite sides, but truly it's issue-based.
The every game of the Jacksonville High School Cardinals. That's where we go. We're Lee and I, all of us are Cardinals. We went to high school here. My wife is too. She was one of those drill team ladies. So we go to the games. We enjoy it. I love high school football. At the end of every game, what occurs after the
Everybody
bell
shake.
rings? What happens with those two teams?
They shake hands.
They get out there and they run up and they walk a whole line, cheerleaders. Everybody they go through and they shake each other's hands.
Yeah, I coached soccer for about 20 years while my
You
son was
understand.
growing. One of the mandatory things was at the end of the game, no matter what the score, you go shake hands. Of course, there were, believe it or not, there were coaches that didn't want to shake hands.
I'm sure
yeah.
of that.
You know, you have seen that
Oh,
before.
Been there.
You know, it's we're just a game.
But anyway, if politics could be the same way, it needs to get back to like it used to be.
Right,
Like I said this morning, Kennedy won by almost nothing.
Right.
If the people who voted third party in the Kennedy-Nixon race had voted for Nixon, that very few number of people, Kennedy never would have been president. That's how close that was. But you didn't hear a lot of people after that election screaming and hollering about him or Nixon. There were no protests out there for either one of them, were there?
Sure.
We didn't hear any. I
think
lived
it-
during that time. You weren't born. What,
Yeah, I think everything changed after the Bush Gore thing, and then just
Oh, that Bush Gore thing was weird.
and then it went downhill from there. I mean, it's become terrible.
Yeah.
I teach my son. You know,
Who's your
my son-
favorite president?
Who's my favorite? Ronald Reagan.
Big.
There's so many people that say that,
Yeah.
and
I know,
I can't
look,
disagree
I-
with them.
Too.
I guess this. I'm a Republican, and very unusual for immigrants to be a Republican, but I am, and I've enjoyed. You know, I have a strong affiliation. You know, Paula took your job, right? Paula, the Paula.
Oh, Laura, yes. No,
Laura did.
actually, it was Melinda Hires that took
Oh,
mine,
Melinda,
and
okay.
then
Melinda now does the men's. Well, yeah.
no, actually, I started the men's club.
Oh, you did?
Me and Jonathan Merritt.
I didn't know you
but,
were a man.
We started the men's club. We started when Kevin and I were in there. We started the teenage
You were a
Republicans.
man.
and
No,
then
I'm with
Jonathan and
you.
I started the Republican men's club. So, but yeah, Melinda became chairman after me,
Right.
and then she did a whole lot. She's still very active. In fact, her and I are working together on some of these Jacksonville elections, and then Laura became so.
It's
It's the women.
Are we
Women-
supposed to set up a PA system down there sometime or another? Weren't we asked to set up a PA system or something? I don't know. I
No,
got
that's all been canceled.
okay, whatever.
Because Michael Watley announced he was running, and that just killed everything as far as the other.
Okay, I
People.
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
there was a forum scheduled by the chamber
For this.
on the 16th, and they canceled it because not enough candidates.
The chamber
applied to-
did? Chamber of Commerce?
It was supposed to be held at the chamber, maybe, but
I know the Republican Party was
but
talking
Laura
about doing one.
send a cancellation note.
Yeah,
saying
that was the
enough.
Republican Party doing that. And generally on municipal elections, we never had those because you've only got a small group of people
Oh,
in
both
each
of them, right?
municipality that could vote. I mean, we would endorse all, the Republicans on the Republican page, and we didn't mind, working the polls for our Republicans.
Most of them are
but
nonpartisan, so
Yeah.
municipal stuff.
other
So,
than that, we didn't get involved a lot.
which I
in the
personally like,
municipal.
by the way.
Right.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm not a
Yeah.
Republican nor a Democrat. I'm one of them.
Everybody in the world knows it too.
Yeah, I hope
He
so.
has to frequently.
Well,
I'm not.
Just to make sure that nobody thinks I'm in favor of them.
Democrat.
I don't like anybody. Let's just-
yeah, you mentioned
and
about
I won't be voting for you.
You can't. You're not.
Well,
allowed.
then-
I know that, but,
Yeah, and what you said is correct. Hopefully, after this election, no matter what, if there's a transition, it has to be in a friendly manner. If it's
oh God, yes.
if it's not a transition, then we need to find out what the issues were they're concerned about and talk about it. It's not life or death.
The
It's,
smartest
it's an
thing that
election.
John Kennedy probably did after the election is not the smartest thing that Donald Trump did after the election. Kennedy looked at that score, 49 point, what did I say it was? 49.72 to 49.55% of the votes.
wow.
He looked at that other 49.55. He said, all those people didn't vote for me. Maybe I better make friends. Donald Trump looked at all the people that did vote for him, said, "Oh well."
Well, Mayor Pete, can we ask you this one
Sure.
thing? If you win this election,
Or not.
no, if you do and you become, mayor, will you still come and visit us occasionally and let us know what's going
Of
on?
course.
in
And
Holly
even
Ridge?
if you don't, if there's other stuff in your history,
Thank you.
you got a lot of background. And that's good for, us, but
Sure,
the whole
I'd be
community,
delighted.
not just Holly Ridge. But
Yeah.
I mean,
We managed to get Jeff on here, so
oh yeah, well, of course he didn't know he was coming here. We had him handcuffed and brought in
And then
with mask on.
Bill with the Swansboro mayor, he's been on. So we enjoy, and of course our mayor here in Jacksonville. So we enjoy
used to work with
having
him.
Sammy is great.
Yeah, I used
Yeah.
to work with him. We were
I'm my
cops.
neighbor,
40 years of being, 40 years of being mayor?
public service.
No, he hadn't been 40 years of mayor.
was
No, he's
police
4
officer.
years as a cop.
Well, but no, how many years has been mayor? He's been mayor for a long
Since about 2008, something like that.
He's been mayor quite a while.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Great guy.
Yeah, he's a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I've gone because I never held this position,
Mhm.
I went and talked to several mayors, Teresa Batts in Surf City, Joanne McDermott in Topsail, and then I came and visited Sam. I said, what should I do as a mayor?
We need to have a mayor forum.
You're police chief.
Yeah. Chief Zork.
His daddy and I used to do some drugs together. But he was
You might want to rephrase
You
that.
might want to clarify
he
that.
was a deputy sheriff. I was a police officer.
Okay.
So we both worked drugs.
That's
Drug
better
detail. Yeah, much better.
than what you said.
Can you cut off the?
No,
That's
no,
along
I-
the lines of me beating the president with one
Right.
club.
It gets their attention right up front. Did you see his eyebrows go? Whoo, whoo. What happened there?
I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to censor that.
His dad, Mike Senior, was a great guy.
Right.
Yeah, but we are
Even though he
really,
did roll his car one morning.
like it. Chief Michael Zork is a great guy and very strong, and he trains his officer well. We have a good structure there, but unfortunately, there are different opinions about our police force. So it is what it is, and he handles it very well.
Well, we
He
can do
handles
it.
it very professional.
We met him too when the
Yeah.
first year of the Bee Festival.
Yeah, I did.
We
I
met
him.
the new chief then.
And, I think
And that's
he's a
when we
great
met
guy. He's
you.
a great addition to the
Yeah.
town.
And of course, our fire chief, Chief Longo, is great. He's done a great volunteer.
I don't know him.
He has great volunteer force, and as we grow, and I've talked to him openly about it. Down the road, 5, 6, 7 years, we got to grow. If we grow the way we are growing, we got to think about a municipal fire department.
But I like
Well, I
the
think it's.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead.
the fire truck. I like the new thing in the center.
Yeah,
I was down there for Crime Stoppers doing a presentation, and I was with them, with
Yeah.
the fire department and police department. They have this neat little thing in the middle of the front of the fire
yeah.
truck.
A lot
that
of the fire
spins
trucks.
around.
Yeah, a lot of them do that get attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
maybe that's why getting a fire truck takes 36 months.
Well,
Maybe
I,
I was
Oh
really-
Lord, that's
It's in
one
your-
thing. Sometimes they turn it, make it go backwards. You
Yeah.
have to reverse the polarity on the.
It is unbelievable. That,
isn't Holly Ridge Fire Department mostly funded by the county anyway?
No, the volunteer fire department in Holly Ridge, county gives us roughly around $260,000
Okay.
to funnel through this year because we wanted to have fire medics,
Did you
Right.
sign the
paramedic
agreement?
support. We added another $600,000. So the total dollars that the volunteer fire department gets is right around above 900,000.
That's
that's
good.
good.
That's
They
good.
deserve it.
That's
They need it. But the community needs it. But they serve more than just city limits of Holly Ridge.
Right.
So they're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to fight a fire.
Right.
Right.
Turkey Creek and
Yep.
Holly Ridge support that area. And we really have had good support from both of them. The one advantage of, I'm sure, I don't know how much you know about this, I've learned all this about the fire medics that are trained to be firemen and
Right.
paramedics.
First
Can-
responders do
right.
for everything.
They can do a lot of treatment except transport.
Mhm.
So a large portion of calls can be resolved either at home or at the fire department through
Yep.
paramedics. And that is going to reduce the number of transport requirement because one of the problems we have is ambulances.
Yeah,
The
and
county doesn't
25
have
miles away.
ambulances. Right.
Either way
Well,
you go.
We have one ambulance in Smith Ferry, one ambulance in Hampstead, and one ambulance at the base. And we have one ambulance in our fire department. But because we don't have a paramedic person, we cannot transport using an ambulance. So that's a sort of dichotomy where you have an ambulance sitting there. Eventually, we have to hire a paramedic to actually work at the fire department
So you got an ambulance sitting there doing nothing?
for the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So when's your next-
that needs to be resolved.
When's your next town meeting?
October 14th.
That's right. That's what you said.
All right,
So you're going to work on your social media policy then?
We're going to develop the social media policy. It's going to get approved by the council and it's going to get implemented immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, very good.
Very good. Very good.
Mr. Mayor, thanks for coming in this morning.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
me.
Appreciate
I've
it.
enjoyed it. I'd like to, now on radio social activity too, I'd like to get with you because obviously you have a lot of good background. If you know my wife's maiden name, then there's a problem.
We Browns stick together. Let me tell you something
knows
about the
mine.
earth when it was first formed.
Right.
Okay, this is a little biblical history, right? Everybody on this earth was named Brown. They had to change their name when they screwed up. Some of us
I
never
got
had
to
to
tell my
change-
wife that she would.
Some of our names, we never had to change our names.
That goes back to his jokes.
You know, if I tell her that, then
yeah, go to her head,
I am going to enforce she's always right policy.
All right, Mr. Mayor, thank
Thank
you.
you.
sir.
I appreciate it.
much for
Thank you for
coming
coming
in.
in.
You take care.
Thank you.
Okie dokie, we'll be done, right? All right, and we'll
should be
keep an
done.
eye on the storms that are out there in the tropical Atlantic, as they say, and we'll look at them. And if there's anything as is developing, we'll let you know on Facebook. If it's not happening, anything different that you need to know right away, you'll see it tomorrow morning.
There you go.
I don't know what we got tomorrow. We got Dr. Rose, I know.
Dr. Rose and Sergeant Major
Sergeant
Mayfield.
Mayfield, Sergeant
Big
Major
announcement.
Mayfield, sir.
Yes, sir.
I want to know about this big announcement.
I can't tell you. He swore me to military secret.
Okay, I've got the mics off now. Tell me.
He'll know.
You're live and local real talk, where we're always awake, never woke. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It will be early. I'm not sure how bright it'll be, but we'll be here. Bye, y'all. See ya.